Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Into the Shadewood. I'm joined by everybody. Say hello, everybody.
Hello,
Hello,
everybody.
Hello,
everybody.
everybody.
The fact that I knew two people were muted when I asked that meant that I knew it was never going to be a good one, and yet I'm still disappointed. How's everyone doing?
I just
Don't worry
had
about it. No
a
time to
delicious.
answer.
Well,
Okay.
There's
yeah.
too much stuff to do to all of you. Charlie, could you do a quick recap of last week's very important, very impactful session?
Yes. Last class, after our characters tried finally to get out of the forest where they had introduced themselves gracefully to a very powerful paladin, they bedded down. Nisakana took first watch. Noticed that something was wrong, but the wrong didn't come to light until Frankie was on watch and then was suddenly not on watch. We all woke to discover our belongings had been rifled through, but were unable to find anything of import that has been taken. Some of us have willfully not looking closely through our belongings. We continued to travel out, whereupon a pandemic vector continued to. There's critical detail I have missed. Oh dear. Where a pandemic vector of a chicken continued to cause us problems.
You're using the word us wrong, just so you know. But continue.
We bravely went through the woods. There are absolutely no problems between the half-elf and elf in our group. And just at the end of the session, we saw an interesting little artifact on the side of the road. And as soon as we looked at it, it said, if you can read this, it is already too late.
Yes, and with those words, I assume, Bottleman, you read it out loud? Since you were getting help from Frankie to read it, so
Sure.
it kind of required you to craft the dialect together. Those words still hanging on your lips. What do you all do?
I'm gonna throw up.
We'll just say don't worry about movement through right now, because like I said, the map is not completely accurate for the part that you're at now.
I'm gonna throw up protection from good and evil on. I guess myself, not to be selfish in this moment, but
Sure. Click the spell for me. Sure, that is up. What else is Bottleman quickly over 6 seconds? What does it look like as you
mutter a quick incantation where some kind of bluish light seeps over my body for a moment. He spritzes some herbs on himself as part of the magic.
Sure. You all watch Bottleman do that. What's everybody else doing?
Can you remind me the lay of the land here again?
It is exactly accurate to what you can see on the map, in that you have walked up to this fork in the road where there's a very colorful little ward that looks kind of like a totem that maybe actually, Frankie, you recognize it as kind of a thing that like a gnomish or tiefling edge mage might erect as like a safety thing. But you noticed it from about 40 feet back, which is where Nisakana noticed a much more hidden carved stone with her critical perception check.
Mm-hmm. But Nisakana did not point that out, correct?
Nope. And then onwards,
Bean.
the path kind of forks. And Bartleman, you know that both forks lead to the city, and they like the city, the town, the village. Just keeps getting smaller. You know that both forks do lead there, and they kind of just they just move parallel. One's kind of an animal trail that's been opened up, and the other one's like a little bit more of a natural path. But it's still about it's about 10 minutes up the path to let's say 8 minutes up the path to the village, since you cast a 10-minute spell.
And Barrowman had read this out loud just at the same time that I was discovering this hidden carps.
I really no, you walked up because everybody else had walked up.
Oh,
So
okay.
you saw the thing, you saw them walk up, everybody else walked up, and I like the idea that Bartleman and Frankie, because Bartleman had help, are like interchanging words, and they like in that way that sometimes you don't realize the content of what you say until you put it back together. So Frankie like read understood the it's already too late and that kind of thing happened. So you heard them understand the dialect that it was written in together out loud. But you came up already because everybody else had walked off.
Got it.
Okie doke. So Frankie, as Bartleman is casting protection from evil and good on himself, like taps his shoulder. You have a bardic now. And then it's never as good a thing to do as I want it to be, but does cast invisibility on himself.
Sure. Feel free to output that, please.
Seeing the magic that Balderman casts on himself, I think, and kind of recognizing that there's some holy water being consumed in that, or whatever he used in that, I think I'm going to pop up going to Divine Sense. How long is that? No, it's only one round. I'm going to pop up Detect Evil and Good.
Sure. It's a radius around you, or
Yes, radius around me. It's already showing on the screen.
Does that follow you if you move? That's cool. No, I didn't think so. I'll delete it. And we'll just remember that it is around you. Sure, yep, that is all good. That's happening. You do not detect any actually roll me an Arcana check.
$18 for a 16.
You don't notice anything except that as you look at Frankie, it pings a weird, like shimmery thing that you register as Fae because they're a tiefling.
Okay.
Which is the same as every other tiefling you've ever seen with this on.
Mm-hmm.
I think from where Moore is at, has Corpus done anything yet?
No, not that I have heard.
Everyone's doing these spells and getting ready. Moore would turn over to Corvus and just, we're too late for what? Like, can we not go to the town? Was there like, what? Are we about to get like attacked? What's happening?
Like as Morvathra is speaking, Corvus says in a ambush. And as he does that, he is like saying these words into like kissing a flower bud that he's pulled out of his component pouch. And when he does that, there's like this like quick pale green vine, and it grows really fast. It's got these little white blossoms that look like the one that he's just taken from his pouch. And go ahead and Bartleman, Marvathra, and Nisakana take Bless as that vine wraps around your arm, and it leaves the smell of strawberries in the air around you.
Just make sure you input Bless.
Yeah.
Moore is going to do.
The trees are difficult terrain, by the way.
Beans.
So just keep that in mind if you're moving that way.
I actually
Also-
can't see anything.
Like anything at all.
Anything at all.
You're blessed, Maddie.
But everybody else can see stuff, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Great.
Can Moore do a
Hello.
perception check?
Yes. Wow. 1 in 5. But yes, sorry. Go ahead. Let's see if I can. You don't notice anything in particular as you look around. Nothing unusual.
Okay. Moore's gonna kind of like rub her throat with a bit of a grimace. But then she's gonna like pound her chest like there's something stuck in her throat, and she's going to vomit up a crow.
Sure.
I think Corvus reflexively, as you are like pounding your chest, begins to like smack your back as well.
But
just...
I'm going to use the wild companion feature to cast Find Familiar and make a crow.
So
Connor's just like.
So you use, to be clear, you use Find Familiar, which gets you used Wild Companion to cast Find Familiar, which gets you a crow.
Yes.
Okay.
Which came from your mouth.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't care about that bit. What type of features does it have? Is it Fey, Celestial, or Infernal?
I think it would be Fey. Pretty sure.
Okay. Sure. It comes out. It looks shockingly like the crow. Like in that first moment, it looks like the witch's crow that you followed, but then it just morphs into the crow as you envisage this fey creature. And yes, you have Find Familiar.
Corvus blinks harder.
Can you output that ability? Because
Yes.
I'm curious about it. But yeah, you don't see anything around you at all. Well, that's unusual.
You were outside in the freezing, you dumbass. Yeah.
But after Morvathra spits out the crow and kind of takes a feather out of her mouth, she'll just kind of like whistle and jerk her head up for the crow to fly over, like high up over the trees. And then we'll turn back to Corvus. I don't really do this that much. It's more like my grand's thing. She did this a lot, but she can't do it. I'm gonna be blind.
How much? How high above the trees? Because they go up like 80 feet. The tallest ones. Is that high for a tree, Kristen? I'm asking you specifically.
What was
Is 80
your
feet
height?
tall for a tree?
That's so tall for a tree.
Great, 80 feet.
Would probably give it the
These
command.
have been growing for literal millennia.
Would give it the mental command to fly at least 30 feet above the treetops, even though that would leave the telepathic range, but it should still be able to see through its eyes and have it do kind of a loop around this area.
Sure. Can you make me an Arcana check with your crow with disadvantage?
The crow.
When Mora explains to Corvus how the spell works, Corvus kind of there's like a nod and like his lips twist. It's not quite a frown, but his brow is furrowed, and he's going to. What kind of like top does like what's like the back of the top that Morvathra wears like?
It's an Arcana check, right? With the crow stats.
Yeah.
Get to 0.
Okay. At what point do you switch your eyes across?
Whenever it gets to the height I told it to.
Before it gets to that height, you feel it be obliterated by something.
Like a electrician or like handyman looking at a problem that shouldn't have been a problem. Morvathra's hands go on her hips. Is
Well, there's your problem.
Is everything all right? Are you all right? Niskana's kind of wincing as you did that summoning because of the shock of light that came out when you threw up the crow because it's Fey.
Oh yeah, and you have the tech good and evil.
Uh-huh.
So it was very bright to you.
Well, my crow blew up.
Where?
Yeah.
How far away?
I had decided to kind of fly straight up, and it did it blow up as soon as it crossed the tree line?
It's a crow's fly speed, probably 40 feet.
50.
50, and all it was doing was dashing, so you had like... Make me a raw intelligence check.
Ooh.
Because you're basically doing a math problem.
12.
It was somewhere between 70 feet and 110 feet, which was the maximum you told it to go up.
So it hadn't even crossed the tree line. It had just kind of gone straight up.
Yeah, it just went straight, because this is the straightest shot up.
Okay, well, it tried to fly straight up, and before it could even get to like 100 feet, it blew up.
Yeah.
Then we seem to be...
You can't tell the violence with which it happened, because you weren't connected to it.
Yep.
If you turned your eyes on, you would have had more information. But also, who knows what would have happened to you. But yeah, somewhere above the tree line, probably, but maybe just at the tree line, it suddenly ceased to exist. Which could have happened if another bird flew into it. Crows have 1 HP.
I was going to reach down and pick up a rock and throw it at across the tree line.
Sure. Make a strength check to throw a rock 80 feet up.
This will work.
Corvus is going to step close enough to Morvathra. If this rock falls down on them, it hits Morvathra first.
11.
I'm going to trust Morvathra to not... Firstly, throwing a rock directly up is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
So, like, the idea that Morvathra would fail this in such a way that it perfectly trajected throw up. No, you just toss it like 25 feet up and it hits the tree.
Does it blow up?
Did you say 11? So you don't have a strength mod?
No. More usually either uses animal forms or enhances.
Okay, you throw it about 15 feet up and it just hits a tree and it doesn't blow up. Make a nature check. You can use wisdom because you're a druid.
13.
Oof. You don't suspect that the woods loves having rocks thrown at the trees, and you would probably be best to not projectile attack trees, even if they were unintentional.
All right. After that, more kind of. No, I was just trying to throw the. It's so long. I don't think this is really an issue because none of you have wings that I've seen. But no one fly above 15 feet, or you might blow up. I'm
What I
sorry.
figured.
Tree.
Is the
I don't want
is
Because I've
this
moved you out of the death clump.
is the sign biased towards one side of the road, or is it like just smack in the middle of the?
It's so directly in the middle of the road, and it's so visible from so far out that it is certainly designed to just draw you to it. That it doesn't seem to indicate a direction is safe and a direction is not safe.
Okay, I'm gonna look at Nisakana and say, I have some protections available at the moment. Should perhaps you and I move forward a little bit while the others fall behind?
I agree. That sounds like an excellent plan. Her eyes are just glowing ridiculously gold.
And just to confirm, we still don't know about the other spot, right?
No.
Okay.
There is. Did the carved rock that I saw have anything written on it, or was it just carved in something that I couldn't understand?
It was in the trees, covered in shadow, and I shouldn't have let you see it even with a 22. But because you crit, I told you that it was there. You could certainly not read anything on it, but it did have carvings in it that you could see from that
Okay.
distance. Because it was like 30 feet into the tree line.
Oh, gotcha. It's like it's in there a further distance.
Yeah. 1 minute has passed since you cast your 10-minute spells, which means Bless dropped.
Yeah, as Bless drops, the vine that is wrapped around your arm and down onto your palm just like slowly withers and like falls away into dust.
Choosing the left path.
Frankie, can you make me an active stealth check? Because you are invisible, so I therefore assume that you are stealthing.
Yep.
Okay, stop moving your characters because this road is 10 minutes, but only about 80 feet on the map. I'll get this stealth check from Frankie. Great, Frankie, are you? You have advantage because you're invisible.
Oh, 6. Great.
The actual only mechanical advantage of being invisible when somebody's not attacking you, apparently. It's not how I run it, but
Am I able to? Oh my god, I'm having such a bad time right now. Just roll it again.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Are you following closely behind Bartleman and Nisakana, who said they're going to move ahead of the rest of the group? Or are you staying back with Morvathra and Corvus?
Frankie will keep pace. I like the idea that he is not keeping like in a line. Will move forward, but not at the same like cadence that Bartleman and Nessie are, to just sort of like keep sort of like equidistance between both clusters.
Okay, so we'll say that Corvus and Morvathra are about 36 seconds back in like time, so 180 feet, and you are somewhere at about 90 feet, and then Nisakana and Bartleman are together wandering, and you took the left fork of the road. Make me perception checks, the front two, and then we'll see if I want them from the back three. Bartleman, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary, and Nisakana,
You
you don't
still
notice
have
anything.
Bardic, by the
Oh,
way.
you have a bardic inspiration if you'd like to use it on your 3. I wouldn't suggest it.
It's
But
just a general reminder, like
I like
for
it.
whatever happens next.
Don't worry, I have a combat started that's just amount of minutes that have passed. Nisakana, you also don't see anything as you are walking down this path. It seems very the same as the path you had been walking down most of yesterday and all of this morning. Could I get perception checks? I don't care, actually. Don't worry about it. You continue in this fashion. Bartleman, you know that it's less than 10 minutes, but more than 5 or 6 to get to the town. I assume that you are aware of your spell duration and therefore would like to get to the town before that
Yeah.
runs out. Okay. Nisakana,
Yes.
after about 7 minutes of traveling, which means it's 8 minutes since you cast your spells, you start to smell what at first you think is like the smell of armor that's been left too long without being cleaned. It's that rust smell. And then you realize it's not rust, but it's the smell of iron. And then you realize it's not iron, but the smell of blood in the air. From north.
I'll just kind of put a hand on Bartleman's shoulder, saying, "Smells of blood on the air ahead.
You can smell it as well, Bartleman.
Should we wait for the others, or shall we push ahead?" Whispered, of course. I'm not speaking loudly at all.
Sure, yeah. They are 36 seconds behind you at the pace you're traveling. Sure. Sure, yeah. Whatever the correct math for that is how far away they are. Because you're not dashing. As far as I understood it. Because it would be dangerous to be sprinting forward.
Yeah.
I'll get a perception check from the back 3 now.
I got nothing. Oh, it hovered over that 20.
Movathra, you look around, you see the shimmer of Frankie kind of in the gap between where Bartleman and Nisakana are. For a moment, it's heat haze. And then through that heat haze, you see Nisakana, but not as Nisakana has ever looked to you before. Instead of the shining plate of an elvish paladin, she is on fire with a green flame. And you see that like her face is contorted in pain. And much like when you saw Corvus, that shimmers for a second, and then as you blink, it disappears.
Cool.
I would like to change how I presented that. As you see Frankie and you see Nisakana through Frankie, and then Frankie moves out of the way. Because it is not seeing it through Frankie that is why you saw that. Because that would be a different thing that was it.
Okay, so like it's there, then it's gone.
Yes. And Bartleman, you see that they've come up to be 60 feet-ish back, which is 2 rounds. So 12 seconds. And you continue?
Uh, so does the back three catch up to the front?
You're still a little bit back, but you're far more in.
You can only see. You can see us.
You're 60 feet back, like now, and the path is winding, so like you can see them where before you couldn't just follow the path.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Bartleman and I, having heard that you guys are catching up, will continue on slowly. I'll have my glaive out.
Sure. You head forward. It takes you most of your remaining 8th minute, so going into your 9th, before you hit the tree line up to this village. And now you are roughly in correct position. Frankie, are you watching the stream, Kristen, to see the map?
Have it on.
Okay.
Yes.
You are equidistant behind them. You see in front of you, with no perception check required, a town that is familiar to you, Bartleman. You look around. It's not a big town, but there's like 15 houses. There's a big hall in which people will often sleep that do not have a house if they're traveling through or something like that. But it's normally active. And these are people that are woodcutters, and there are people that are foragers and things like that, and they will import meat, and there's a butcher and these kind of things. It's deathly quiet, and both of you can see on the packed dirt where hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of footsteps have fallen over the time that this town has been here. Blood that looks like it is from bodies being dragged.
Okay. I'm going to keeping my eye out on the buildings for any movement. I'm gonna like move forward to try to figure out if this is like happened in the past day or two, or if this is older.
Yeah. Can I make a survival check?
I will say survival check to know that.
Yeah.
I will say that both of you walk forward 30 feet slowly, and you can tell immediately that it's happened within the last 7 minutes, because 10 minutes. It would be crazy to know that within a minute. Within the last 10 minutes, because the blood is slick on the ground. You can see it like
It like hasn't even fully
still
absorbed.
turning the dirt to mud.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Blood? Mud blood?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
I don't like that.
I don't want to say that term. That's inappropriate.
It's a slur.
Yeah, but you can tell as soon as you get closer to one of the blood things.
Okay. I'm looking
It's
for
gonna move you up.
movement then.
Sure, make a perception check. This is probably a better accuracy of 60 feet. And Nizakana as well. I simply must assume that you are not wandering
Yes.
blind.
Oh no, I'm not letting Bartleman go by himself.
Yeah, but you could be focused on something that isn't that, but I can't imagine what it would be.
Mm-mm. I'll also make a perception check as well.
Good
I'm
job.
assuming that when we got to that point, we could hear the blood, or we could smell the blood too, right? Like,
Yeah,
as we're
both of
catching up.
you have very high natural perception checks. Actually, Corvus, you can't because you can always smell blood. I want it to be on record that you can never not smell blood because you are carrying a heart that is still bleeding in your clothes. So to you, it just smells normal.
Got it.
Because you haven't really registered that you're smelling that smell still, I think.
Got it.
And other people can't smell it from you. So Malvatra, you do. Frankie, you can make a perception check for the blood smell. Both Bartleman and Nizakana, you don't sense movement, you don't see movement, you don't hear movement. Frankie, you pick up the blood when you're a bit further back than you are now, but you can only move forward. Bartleman, actually, with an 11, you hear the lilting sounds of a stringed instrument being played from the north of the town. When it's pointed out to you, Nisakana, you can in fact hear it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound familiar in terms of the instrument or the way that it's played. Bartleman, as you moved to roughly where I think Bartleman knew that he could see a largely straight shot through the whole village, you do get a sense that it is coming from the hall which is the big building to the north that you can see through that gap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've got about, let's say, 48 seconds left. So let me just math. I'll assume hurry slightly means dashing or still walking.
Mm-hmm.
On every 10-minute spell, which I think are those two, and Bardic
Yes.
Inspiration. Oh, would you like to Bardic Inspiration on that 11 perception check?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's edging towards the time that you won't get a use of it out of it.
Oh.
Within the music, in the music, you've heard in your time so many minstrels, just an enormous amount of minstrels. You've never heard one play an instrument this way. And as you think about what it would take to do this on a normal instrument, it could be a strange instrument. It requires fingers that are longer and more dexterous or differently jointed than any humanoid minstrel. Sure. Yep. Great. And therefore not dashing, I imagine. Yep.
Yeah, I will not re-up my spell because I only have so many.
Yep. Great.
Corvus gets
You
as he's following up, he gets to the edge where all of a sudden this blood
Yeah, you
is,
can see the blood now.
and he's just he has that moment where he kind of stops at the edge of it, and then he tilts his head back and he sniffs the air, and frowns, and he sniffs the air again, and I think that's when it dawns on him.
Yeah, that is a thing that you don't necessarily want to find out that way, I guess. Sorry. Yeah, so Nisakana, your spell is definitely up by the time you make it to the
Mhm.
door.
With more.
Oh, that's really funny.
Enough.
Sorry, I had Corvus's token selected, and Corvus can't see Frankie, so I was like, where'd Frankie's token go? So you're waiting for everybody to kind of catch up before you cross this big space?
Moore is going to cast Enhance Ability on herself.
Yep, which
specifically Owl's Wisdom.
Sure, can you output it? Because I never remember. It's just advantage on
All wisdom checks.
Just. All wisdom skills, right?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, sure.
And then as soon as appropriate, would make another perception check once we're in the town.
Yeah, the three of you that just came into the town can make a perception check to see if there's anything that the others missed.
Also, because wording is kind of
Motherfucker.
weird. It specifies check, not skill, but I assume that just means skills.
If you output it, I will.
Okay.
Tell you.
Any ability checks count toward enhance ability.
But not spellcasting
Correct.
rolls. Yeah, so yes, technically there are other things that you would get advantage on. I can't think of one for wisdom. I can think of them for intelligence and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, great. Can you make me a wisdom saving throw? Thanks. Just move up throw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Through a window of, let's say, this house, to the northwest, you see a body that's kind of been pinned to the back wall. Nobody else saw it, but you saw it. You can see it, and it has had its chest just ripped open, as if like somebody is opening their way into a bush. This one does not have a fetching yellow flower growing out of it. It just has egregiously damaged internal organs.
It says that before this time's weird. Before she says anything, it was that enough of a kind of perception for it. Does it look like animalistic, or does it look too clean for that? If that makes sense. Does it look like it's been tore open, or does it look like it's been sliced open?
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
It has both been torn and sliced open. Like if this is not really something that Morvathra would know, but for Chris, it's like if Edward Scissorhands accidentally ripped your chest open. Or intentionally ripped your chest open. Like whatever the grabbing implements were sharp. Like slashing blades.
Yeah, then Moore would immediately stop, look in that direction, call out to the others. I found one of the bodies real bad. Looks really bad. So, there, and it's gonna point through the window into the house. Also, whenever she turns to look at anybody, her eyes look like an owl's.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's so endearing to me for some reason. I love that.
When is the pointing out enough for us to see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Harvest-
Anybody that chooses to go and look, make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah. I think
With me warning ahead of time, it looks real bad. Help any?
No, because
Okay.
the warning is that don't look at it, right?
Okay.
They don't get a benefit on the save if they choose to still look.
Yeah. Corvus looks at Morvathra and says, when you say real bad,
It looks like they had a bear in their chest and it got out of their chest.
Corvus is gonna visibly brace himself, because that sounds a little bit like what happened to Lucy. But he will voluntarily, very slowly, turn to where Morvathra is pointing.
Just to be really clear, the only sharp thing that happened to Lucy came from Corvus.
Okay, but the chest was caved in, right?
This is not caved in. This is pulled open.
Okay.
It's
This
the
is
opposite.
out, not
But yeah,
in.
you can physically brace yourself and then make me a wisdom saving throw.
Yep.
Who else would like to look upon this visage of death?
I am not. I think I'm still with Bartleman looking up
Hey,
north
Corvus,
towards the
you're
hall.
also fine. You don't feel good about it. Actually, you feel a little unwell about the fact that you are handling it so well, but not in a way that's mechanically bad for you.
Horace just kind of shucks his teeth, nods. In that, looking at it, does he get anything off of does he understand anything about it that Moore's not already explained? Does this look like it was part of ritual? The way he kind of assumed that the ritual.
You can make me an Arcana check if you want to know if it's about a ritual.
While that's
I think that's the
happening,
appropriate skill.
with the 26 that Moore got, I can see like facial details, right?
Yeah, the face is intact. Well, as intact as any face is when it bleeds. It doesn't seem like it's ritualistic.
If Bartleman hasn't turned to like look more while still looking with to Bartleman, you've been here, right? Do you want me to describe what this body looks like? It might be someone that you know.
Bartleman, you know everybody that lived in this town. She's a human. She presumably had eyes. She has quite a fine nose for what seems to be like just run-of-the-mill villager. She has very, very thick, kind of blondish, but that like in between blonde and brown hair. And she has a from this distance, because you crit, you didn't crit, but you got over 20. You can see that she has a glinting lip ring.
Oh no, I crit.
She's like maybe, it's hard to tell because it's a literal dead body, but she was like maybe mid-20s.
All right, I didn't crit the perception. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. 22 is still fine.
Yeah.
It's glinting.
Describes that to Bartleman.
She's wearing a flannel to really endear her to all of you. Chris doesn't have a lip ring.
That's right.
All blonde hair.
Flannel.
No, I was like, let's endear this person that's dead to you.
That's 40% of this group on most days and 60% on other days.
The flannel is red, but you don't know if it started that color. Yep, you know everybody in this town. She was like it's like a hunter, so she'd hunt, but she hunted small game, so she was more of a trapper.
As this conversation
Her name was Avery.
As you're like even saying that, Corvus is saying a little bit above you, with that not particularly loud, still in that low shock tone. Not that they, don't deserve our respect, but is this the time?
Sure. Yeah.
I would go with Bartleman as well. I'm not letting the wizard go alone.
The wizard gets hit by a small rock, dies.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
actually, the rock would definitely hit you. You wouldn't die.
I'm gonna glance around and look at the ground for where Frankie's at, like looking at the blood footprints.
Frankie, are you
So invisible.
There's a lot of blood, but not so much blood that Frankie can like not avoid it. Make a perception check. Cool is. Yeah, you're walking forward. We'll resolve that in a second. Yeah, Frankie's very close to you. Frankie is, as always, between you and the front, which is where Frankie has chosen to be at all times.
Yeah.
I
just try to keep them in my eyesight, just in case something horrible happens to them and we don't notice.
Sure. Yeah, you keep them in your eyesight for a little bit, but then not for very long. I'm just going to move you up a little bit as you move across. Keep track of everybody. You hit this open space. This is a well that you're next to.
Mm-hmm.
It seems not covered in blood. Do you continue? There are houses on either side of you. Wherever there's a wall, that's because I'm not seeing a house.
Do we all hear the music now?
Yes. It is continued. It's definitely coming from the tall building to the front. Anybody that would like to can make a roll about it.
What
Frankie?
Roll will be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Or whatever roll you like.
Yeah. Sorry, what am I making a roll about to figure stuff out about the music? Is there a world where I can justify that as a performance check?
There's a world in which whatever you roll is the information I'll give you.
Damn.
So
Okay.
yes, you could learn it. You could learn about the performance of it.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm
Thanks,
gonna
Lord.
do.
My Google did not understand
Oh.
that I just said.
Almost
to
a crit.
Terrible roll, but I rolled insight on the music.
I'm just gonna roll a perception to see is it coming from inside the building or like behind it, to just be try to
Frankie,
more closely locate it.
Frankie, you can have advantage on a performance check because you have performance. So insight, yes, it is music. Performance, yes, it is well performed.
I'll make it.
Perception, yes, it is audible.
I'll make an arcana check.
From inside or outside the building?
But sorry, what was your thing? I didn't mean to be sassy to you because I didn't hear you explain it.
I was asking to see if I could tell if it's coming from inside of the hall or if it's just coming from
It
like
is.
behind it, since it's a big
Yeah, no,
building.
it's inside the hall.
Okay.
Bartleman, it is in no way magical.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Kristen's just dying over
Excellent
here.
information.
Yes, that is a good roll. Call this.
I either want an insight check or a perception check on the world that is not the music, because we were just brought up to a little ward sign on a tree that was like, if you can already hear this, you're already too close. Is this another get close to something sort of trap? Is my question in my head. Are we being guided somewhere on purpose?
Yeah, you can roll either of those skills, and I will tell you what either of those skills result in. They could both give you that information.
Man, I feel like I'm making up for like 6 weeks worth of bad rolls here.
The music does not seem to be designed to entice you. It's a very neutral kind of song. It is not like come enjoy this like gaiety. Nor is it listen to my melancholy little guitar thing. It's just that kind of sound when somebody is, and probably the same thing that Frankie does at night at camp. It's a person that is more comfortable to have an instrument in their hand, and they are playing that instrument rather than not. So it's not even really, there's no design or scheme to this music. It just happens to be something that you can hear.
Got it. I think
I think that's fair for a 23.
Yeah.
And you did clear your exhaustion, right?
Yeah.
I told you last week to clear it.
Yeah.
But you don't see anything with your passive perceptions. And I guess Nisakan will take that 15 as an active perception for outside. You don't see anything moving around here still. You do occasionally see like a body that's just been tossed unceremoniously through a doorway that's like still open because it's caught on like the leg of this dead corpse. You continue to move forward, I assume. You reach the doors of the Great Hall. They are closed. The music is louder. Right. Inside, you see, sitting at the back, sitting like kind of on a chair, but the back is broken off at some point. It's a figure that at first you look at it and it looks like it's wearing a cowl and head down. It's playing a very long lute and it has very long fingers. But Bartleman, there's no guile to it. Like, it's not disguising itself or anything. The cowl is made of wood, and it is actually the entirety of the face of this creature, and it seems to be largely made of wood. You also see 4 enormous, seemingly statuesque wooden creatures. They're going to look like they have swords if you see them, but they actually just have very sharp branches that they're like posed with. And I will reveal that one in a sec, which I think that most of you can see from where you are. But there are 4 of them. the music doesn't stop.
Are these big
Oh,
figures
actually,
bloody?
how loud were you?
Have blood on them?
Yes. How loud were you playing the? Did you open the door? Was it like a "I am here," or was it like a open the door like a normal person would open double doors?
Open the
Definitely would
door
not have done the loud. It would have been
like
quiet.
a normal person.
Then yeah, the figure doesn't seem to look up. It's just doodling on its long lute, and you do see that the fingers joint. Instead of having back and forward joints, they have a 360-degree in every joint, so it can like move up the fretboard in a way that is very cool. Kristen, don't fall in love with the villains that I make.
No, I'm not. But like just the setup of the sorry, not to we usually debrief like this off screen, but the setup of like the little spooky wooden guys into like the weird wood this is
He's
so
also like
cool.
6'2", to be clear. He's only looks
He's
small
not
right now,
a
but he's
guy.
tall.
No, but like the
He's
little
like
guy, like the wooden little guys, like from like 10 minutes ago into like this
yeah,
is like a very fun. Um. Anyway, if the door is
thanks,
open,
Kristen.
I know what
Frankie
these
is now
creatures
going to
are.
sneak ahead.
I don't think you
Sure.
can. I guess you could brush past us, but
You can
we're
make
kind of
if you
in
want
the
to push
doorway.
past them. You can make me let's say an acrobatics check to do it.
Okay.
A hard acrobatics check to do it both silently and without touching them. Such a hard acrobatics check. The door's big. It got these tall statues through. Yeah, and they are covered in blood. And almost certainly none of you. Well, hold on. Nizakana, make me an intelligence check.
Okay, never mind.
Come on.
I have misunderstood the setup.
Yeah. No, I think that
Hey.
all of you are
No, sneak
intelligent
ahead
enough to
into the
realize.
room full of enemies, please.
Yeah, all of you are intelligent enough to realize that they are probably not statues. They are just able to stand still because they don't seem to breathe. As you step in, both of you, can you make me perception checks? Corvus, I'm leaving you where you are because you seem to have. Wow, so many.
Then how would I roll?
So many crits. Bartleman, you don't notice anything. Nizakana, you do see the lute player not waver in any fashion from the playing of the lute, but you do see them kind of tilt their head in a way that strikes you, despite the situation that you're in, as nothing more. There's nothing that's more similar to it in your mind as like, and maybe you're thinking about it because owls are on your mind, but like an owl tilting its head. It's a very animalistic jerk
Mhm.
of very, very slight, but it certainly knows that you're here.
Mm-hmm. I'll just kind of whisper to Varro and say, well, it knows we're here. I think I will still have my glaive is still out, but I think I'll use it more like I'll use it as a walking stick rather than as, ready to attack weapon like. Just as a cautionary move.
Sure. Are you stepping forward further than this? Just gonna vibe in the doorway.
I think I'll go forward 10 feet.
Great. It like you hear it clicking. It's quite a like bone on wood type of clicking, and it's like guests.
Indeed.
It keeps making this kind of clicking sound, which you don't understand anything about it.
Can I try to figure out like what this thing is? Is this like some kind of a creature? Is it like a construct of the woods?
Sure. You can make a nature check. Charlie, are you intentionally leaving Corvus at the back of the party?
Corvus waited until people started stepping into the room before he would go forward, and I think he also does like once Morvathra moves his moves when he moves so that he can move, he is gonna step to the side before he goes forward, so he can kind of pan through and get an image of what he's walking towards. So he kind of does this sidestep, looks as much of the room as he can, and I think there's this long moment where he's kind of making sure that his badger is completely tucked away, where he looks at the others, looks at the area behind, and then finally looks at Morvathra and very tiredly steps up to be shoulder to shoulder with Morvathra.
Give me 1 second to answer your question, Andrew, because you rolled very well. It's absolutely none of the things in this room are Fae because of the nature of the history of the world.
Mm-hmm.
The loot. The loot player is, with a 23, almost certainly a monstrosity, and the statues are plants. Are they creature types?
Okay. They're covered in blood. They're definitely responsible for what's happened.
The big things are covered in blood. It's an it. It is immaculate in that it's not covered in blood.
I guess I'm just gonna ask her. So, why did you do this to this village?
Make welcome.
Make welcome for who?
Guests.
What guests?
Guests.
Is this like a can I get a read? Is this like an intelligence thing? Like it doesn't can't, or is it intentionally being obtuse?
I'll tell you right now that I'm just going to tell you because I can't work out the roll and you have 20 intelligence.
Sure.
You should consider this to be largely like a Kenku, and it doesn't have a dialogue option to answer your question.
Okay.
Nobody else knows that, and I don't know what the check would be. Maybe you could roll a raw charisma if you wanted to know that, but Bartleman, you do know.
I'm gonna glass at Nisakana and say, I don't think that we're going to be getting information out of this one. We've reached the extent of what it can tell us.
No. You came to give us gift.
What gift?
It looks around and says, death. Everybody roll initiative.
Great.
Damn, let's go.
Yeah.
We complete the chicken saga. Give it the chicken.
You're going to try and give them the chicken. Hang on, let me cancel and make a new thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Charlie, you'll have to roll again. If it was a good roll, you can.
It was a very middling, actually.
Very mid roll.
Then just roll again. That's fine. I don't care. Just roll again.
Are we good to go now?
Yes.
Okay.
Figures the one time I'm quick on my initiative that it was too quick.
I could have just deleted it.
Hey, I might go high. Shocking given my dex.
Wow, look at you.
And before all the tree spirits, just crush it.
I'm not rolling them as a individual, so.
Well then, that's bad.
I'll roll them all as individuals as you like, if you like.
No, fine. It's fine.
If you prefer
However you want to do that.
I was not doing it out of kindness because it's just a bit easier to manage, but I'll do it all together because it balances a bit, so you're not getting hit as much.
That's such a spread.
I assume you can see the names of things when I roll.
Yeah.
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 Free
Great.
spirit.
I'm gonna tell you right now that I think, Andrew, you know that Hatherink is not a creature name, but a person name. Like, I don't know how you know, but this is not called a Hatherink. So
Sure.
you didn't get that with your Kai roll.
I didn't read it that way.
Sure. Yeah, I guess I would have put it differently. And all of the tree spirits are the same. I just liked having two different things. But you will come to know that. The first one, this guy. Steps forward. They don't make sound while they move. There's no like breaking of wood or anything like that as they move. But the sound of their footsteps is heavy and cracking the floorboards underneath you. And Nisakana, you will take 2 attacks. I'm not going to ask you for 23 hits. I'm not going to ask if that one hits either. You take 18 damage from the first one.
This is me?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're the front person. And sorry, they don't have 2 attacks. My mistake. 18 damage. The second one will move forward and also be able to reach you with their long tree stridey legs. And it will swing out. So these are very. You kind of expect it to be animalistic in the way that it attacks. Not animalistic, but not. You're surprised by how adept it is as essentially a swordsman with a stick.
Mm-hmm.
But as it cuts through you, it hurts more than any sword that's ever hit you. Like, it feels like with each millimeter it moves through your skin, it leaves behind splinters.
Yeah.
This one misses, I'm sure.
Yes.
But they both step forward. They just slash down at you very methodically. It's quite it's closer to like a samurai in the way that it's just like a straight line cut, straight down like a kendo practitioner. And then Bartleman, it is your turn.
Wait, did the first one get 2 attacks, but it should only have been 1?
Yes.
Okay, so it is still the 18 damage though, or it should be less than that?
No, it's 18. That was
Okay.
one of the hitting.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Okay. When I made that nature check, did I get a sense of weaknesses?
Their plans?
Maybe fire.
Blight? You know the spell Blight would be good against them?
Yeah, it'd be great if I had that spell.
If you found yourself a higher level character suddenly.
Oops. Yeah. I think, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but my best option is still to hit them with ice.
You will note that they, while their swords are like swords, their slashing branches are reasonably short. Their arms are certainly long enough to have 10-foot reach, or 5-foot extra reach.
Oh, so if I move, I'll be good.
Potentially, yes. Bartleman is Sherlock Holmesing all of the math. Baldwin's just stuck on the word
I
discombobulate.
can't hit. Like these three.
We
I
see
don't have
snowflakes
to-
become the calculus meme background. Did the has the wood kenku kept playing this whole time?
It is currently still playing.
No, I'm actually just gonna do chromatic
Wood
orb
Kenku's funny.
fire against the one in front of me.
Sure. That hits. It bursts into flames. Like the flames obviously do more to it than you would think. But as it is engulfed in fire, you hear all four of them make a loud kind of roaring sound that is similar to when a tree like falls through other trees, where it just feels like it's wood on wood. And Nisakana, as you're kind of like trying to stop both of these interacting like with you and hitting you, you feel them both speed up in some sort of rage. But yeah, definitely Bartleman, fire, good against them. Is that everything? I don't remember if you have bonus actions.
Nothing that's relevant.
Great. Frankie.
Okay. So Frankie reaches back real quick. And the first person that he touches behind him, which is Corvus, he gives like a gentle squeeze. You have a bardic that does not cause invisibility to drop. I'm
Sure.
then going to move
You
over
feel Corvus
here.
flinch.
Oh, I don't know where walls are. Can I get somewhere that puts me within sightline of the Ookie spooky banjo player?
Yes. I think you probably got one more. Do you want to go as far as possible to be as close? Or is it fine?
That is perfectly fine. And then
Can you make me a stealth check with advantage?
Yep, I
'Cause you
can.
are technically stealthing through here, right?
Yep. For exactly one more second.
Yeah, but it is important. 21.
Yep.
He's still playing. I'll use his passive.
Okie doke. And then I am going to Frankie then targeting the our long-fingered friend.
I don't like that.
Starts to murmur to himself. Invisibility is dropped, but now I need a wisdom saving throw from our friend for Dissonant Whispers.
That's incredible. Plus 10 and rolled 2 4s.
That's awful.
Yes. You see it affect him. Oh. You see it affect him, and then he just chooses to resist it.
That's such
in a
sad damage
legendary
too.
kind of way.
Mm,
Well, he doesn't know the
Frankie-
damage in advance, so
I'm just saying for our benefit. Sad.
Frankie hums to himself a little bit, and is now turning his attention back to the giant guys in front of him, but the turn is over.
As a reaction,
Oh, great.
in your head, you hear a loud screeching sound, but it does nothing. This guy, roll bad. Does he take half?
I think it might be
On a successful hit, it takes half. All right. Well, you have successfully done 2 damage.
great.
Is it bloody?
And used the legendary resistance, which is really a good thing.
That's huge, actually.
You get the sense that it is not a fan of sound-based attacks being used on it, but not in a way that it is like taking more damage. It just disrupted its playing. Nisika.
Creature after my own heart. There's a moment of kinship felt, I think.
Actually, hang on.
Yeah.
Frankie, just for you.
Kinship with the master of the thing that just killed a whole town.
It was playing very, very well before. Better than you would play just tinkering around. But now it has dropped to be a 14 performance check.
Man, I can't wait to viciously mock this guy.
Nizikana.
I am just going to swing my glaive at this.
The one that has been hurt already, or the one that is?
Whichever one has already been hurt.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Make your attack rolls. That's a hit. Oh, no. Sorry. No weapon proficiency. That's a miss.
Well.
And actually would have been a miss anyway. I just assumed you had +4. Not
No,
that
I
their
should.
ACs are 18. Not that their ACs are 18 or anything.
No, because I don't have my proficiency right now. Okay. Well, I don't think I can do anything else as a bonus action.
Probably not.
It's real not good that our paladin doesn't have proficiency with their weapons.
Yeah, but that other Elvish Paladin's doing good work and didn't die immediately in his hunt for the other thing.
Yeah, all I can do. No, I can't even do my turn the tide yet because I have more than half of my hit points. So, nope.
Oh, I'll fix that for you next time. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Sleight of hand is an action. So that's it.
Just like strides forward. It is moving faster as well from the fire damage that has occurred near it. Frankie, what's your AC?
An 18.
Currently, but I know you have things.
Currently. Yeah, no, the things that are going to become relevant next round, yes.
Misses. And the second one, because now they do have multi-attack,
Okay.
misses more. It just like slices down at you twice. Very quickly. But finds no purchase. Malathra.
Right. This all looks like it's going well and good.
Forgot something for these characters.
Morvothra rolled an 8, right?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't change yours? Sorry, what did you roll?
The second time I rolled a 10.
But the first time?
12.14.
Great. You can go now, but you should have gone earlier. I didn't change it.
Okay.
But I will. You are up here.
Awesome. Yeah, so that same moment happens. where Nistakana, Bartleman, and Morvathra abruptly like feel like a very soft, like supple vine squeezing their arm, like wrapping around their palm, and just kind of like a clutch. And you're blessed.
Great. Do you have anything else to do?
Not currently. I don't think. I don't have any bonus actions. Unless I can bonus action an ability check.
Sure. What's the ability check?
I want to do a nature check on like all of these fucking creatures. Like I get that they're plants. I get that they are walking plants. But like this is my thing. I like plants. And even in this horror Adam, I'm kind of like, huh, how did this get this way? And what would one do to harvest it? Thank you.
So you want to do a nature or herbalist check to see what you could get from these plants? Basically.
Like not even it's not even like the like what would I get out of these plants right now? It is when you harvest something, you disrupt it, you break it, and I'm focused on like, yeah, I need to break these things. How
Sure.
would I
Yeah,
how would
okay.
I go about that? How would I go about harvesting these in a way that like normally he's harvesting with the intent of preservation. This is how do you harvest this until it's nothing left? How do
Yeah, I'll
you
let you make the roll
All right.
because it's interesting. An axe or fire. Like fire is evidently working.
Yeah.
What a strange thing. You all can be lucky because the plutonium import is not working, and I will just not give that feature to this thing. Don't know why. Yeah, an axe, probably. They look like they're tree-like. The fellow playing at the back is angered by Frankie, who isn't here, and will What's your reach, Nisakana? 10.
10 feet with the glaive.
All right.
I think if y'all click apply active effects, the bless will apply to you. But I'm not sure. Those
Maybe.
on your token, click your token and then click apply maybe.
I'm gonna wait for Kristen to get back.
Yeah.
For this, because it will only be interested in targeting Frankie.
I don't think bless is a condition we can a status we can affect.
Okay.
Weird.
We might be missing a plugin because like I can't apply bardic as a like there's no bardic symbol for my token. So
Yeah, I've got to work out. There's a mod that's not on that should be on.
yeah, that's not a big deal. You just track it.
All right, I'm gonna move to the other tree spirit and do their turn.
Mm-hmm.
Bartleman, I will say that you can have plants as part of your protection from good and evil, given that Fae will they're only tiefling.
More as
and plants are. Oh, sorry, Morathra, you can do your thing. But Bartleman, you get protection from plants. All monstrosities, you can pick which one that spell gives you instead of Fae. You're going to see more plant enemies, I will just tell you.
Really?
Sure, plants.
Great. So they have disadvantage on attacks against you and whatever else. Movathra, you can go. I apologize for nearly skipping your turn.
You are good. Morvathra, did that tree spirit move? Was that there? The 12. Okay, what was I? Right when we were able to get in.
It's somewhere around here. I don't know where. Sorry.
Yeah, Moira's going to duck in here. Is after stepping in, is going to look over at Niskana and seeing that they are injured and currently being surrounded, is going to use their bonus action to cast Healing Word.
Sure.
On her. Just kind of stutter, speed. Don't do that. Stop. At the fact that she's bleeding. And it's going to Healing Word that. Uh, just at first level. For 5 HP.
That's still 5 HP.
Yep. But then after doing that, it's going to use her action to wild shape into a crack cat.
Sure. Let me get your little guy. Get your little correct thing. Here it is.
I really could have sworn that die said 4 on my screen.
They look very similar with that font. Chris, you should have access to that. I will say that the wall shoved you into the room when you did it.
There you go. Yeah, I do.
Does it have vision? Yes, good. All right, and then that's the end of your turn, presumably, because
it would move up to kind of try and body block Barrowman from this other, more.
I respect and will allow that to happen because of the turn order.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was wanting to do.
Yeah.
I didn't, but
that's fair. Frankie, make a Constitution saving throw. The music stops for a moment.
Oh?
Yeah, because it needs its hands to cast this spell. You take 29 points of damage as you feel blooming from the inside out, essentially just death, as you are blighted.
Oh. That's great. I feel that Frankie feels that for a moment, and then goes down.
Well, you did try and dissonant whisper him, so he did get angry.
Yeah, that's on me.
Whoop, I did your health the wrong direction. Oh, you could do your own health. I don't know why I did.
I was just going to do it manually now. So
like you are here. You just can't.
Did you have to? Oh, dang.
And bless goes down because concentration. Yes.
I didn't cast.
No, that was Corvus.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just assumed that Corvus is.
It's just is no longer going to be on them.
On Corvus.
I don't think I was blessed anywhere.
Yeah, no, I've never been able to see you when I've cast bless.
The cat is a bigger target than the old man, despite the fact that the old man has raised the anger of these tree spirits. And Mavathra, you will be attacked twice. What's the cat's AC?
Not very high. Like a 14, I think. 13.
Yeah. You will take
+9.
Yeah, they're tanky guys. Oh, I have to roll a second time. This is nonsensical. I hate this system. Your cat form will take 17 and then 18 points of damage.
Probably knocks it out then. Let me see.
Yeah, you lose 1 hit point from Mahatma.
Yep.
That's an effective heal. You effectively healed 34 for the party by being a cat for a second. Let me bring you back your Mahatma token. In
Everything
such.
is dark.
Oh yeah, because you got hit.
Rothauthra is dead. Alright, there we go.
All right. The one that is injured will attack Nisakana. Well, they're both going to attack you because they're like standing right next to you, and they don't have an interest in Frankie's body. Well, I don't want to say that for sure, but they don't have an interest in hitting it. Does a 20 hit, Maddie?
Yes.
Take 20 points of damage, which would have put you down. Well, you got 5 hit points back, right? I thought you were on 20 before the 5.
Where did the 5 hit points come from?
Rothauthra healed you.
Oh.
Yeah, like, hold on.
Okay. Sorry, I missed that.
And the second one misses from the first guy. The second one will slash at you.
That just hits. That's my AC.
I thought you had higher AC for some reason. Well, you
Oh.
do have.
Hold on, let me see. Let me make sure I have the right stuff equipped. No, I have my armor. I have my
Just armor, because glaive.
plate armor equipped.
I'm not going to roll the health because it can't insta-kill you, and you are unconscious. It can't really get to Bartleman or more to hit either of them. So it just stands waiting for its final attack. Bartleman.
So do they have one attack or two? Because like,
now.
it's just the rage thing that we're seeing them move faster. Is that what?
Yeah, they have multi-attack after
Okay.
one of them is hit by a fire attack.
Okay.
Okay.
The concentration on Andrew's things.
It's the lack of fireball. The
Yeah.
sadness of not having fireball.
Do I get the sense at all that like these are being controlled by this guy, or no? From the actions, from what we've seen.
No, not really.
Okay, so like killing him's not going to necessarily immediately.
They could have a relationship that isn't like puppetry.
Puppetry,
they would like that, but you can't tell that from this. I get death saves from the next two while Andrew is thinking, presuming that the wizard's not going to cast a healing spell.
Nope, don't got none.
Bartleman is just like, surprise cleric! Maddie, can you critically fail the first one? That'd be really.
Yeah,
really
hold
good.
on. I'm trying to figure out where do I roll my death saves from?
Yeah, I actually
should be
can't find that in the
under.
sheet.
Should be like on your character's face.
Frankie, yours in particular is on the character's face, but it might be on the token if it's not on your actual thing. I will have a look for you, but otherwise just roll a d20. I don't know so much. You're doing great,
Well.
guys. Everything is good and fine.
Okay, I'm gonna hit.
How many can you hit?
3.
3. Okay.
Hit these guys with
needs a
binding
con
ice.
save.
Yeah, I'm not hitting anybody, just the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a con save. Probably not the best for them, but
Oh.
a 1.
2 fail. And that's a much better place for a crit than the other alternatives. So we'll do I'll do it from the back. So the back one will take 6. They're definitely not vulnerable to this.
Right.
And that's 12. Make sure I did that math right. Make sure I actually hit enter when I change these things, maybe. Yeah, great. The 2 death saves go super good. No bad death saves here. Corvus.
Cool. Corvus kind of looks in at this fucking mess.
Yeah.
As he's like entering this doorway, Morvathra, you feel like the weight of a badger suddenly kind of gently lobbed at you.
Badger grenade.
Yeah, badger grenade hits you, and then he takes a breath, steps up, with his he doesn't take his eye off this tree. His foot reaches forward, and he just gently presses his the forward part of his boot against where Frankie has fallen, and he exhales, and this soft green illumination, close to his eye color, but a little bit more whenever you're seeing light through the trees, kind of flitters down through his own feet. But the Misty Step takes hold over you instead, Frankie, and you are tossed abruptly behind Morvathra. You land in the same position. There's no fall as you Misty Step behind Morvathra.
You can control yourself again. I forget which thing you're having problems.
And a little bit within Morvathra's reach. And then the next thing that he does is to cast Aid on the 2 of the downed people to bring them up, and I guess it's more has Bartleman been hit at all?
No.
Uninjured.
All right. I think then he'll cast it on himself as well, as he stepped into this. And the way that aid is the same way it was before. It's this really he's pouring water on the ground. Looking at the trees, it's he pours the water spitefully behind him, out of their reach, and y'all are aided. The 2 that are down and himself. So I think he's limited at 3.
We get that dropped into the...
Yep. That's maximum in current, so it does work too.
Yeah, you gain 5.
Okay, perfect. I think I'm not gonna bother changing the max.
You hear a string break on the loot that has been perked back up in like vague frustration. And I assume that's the end of your turn, because unless you want to walk away, step back, take your leave.
Corvus really looks like he's considering it. He is like side eyeing the door, but then he's just like standing up in front of this tree.
For what it's worth, you can see that those two are encased in ice and cannot move.
That does help him a lot, and that's probably why Corvus was willing to do that. So I guess the one that is in front of me is
Well, hold on. Let me clarify. They have no movement speed.
Okay, yeah. But they can attack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're worried about being...
I didn't read that part of Ryan's finding
chased.
ice when I chose which ones got hit. I think I maybe made the choice that was the worst for you.
Yeah, it would have been better for the guy in the back to have that, but
Yeah, but he also
change it. I'll say that he. I'll say
it's fine. We said what we said.
Yeah, I hadn't read it. I feel bad about picking a bad option for you.
He used all his movement to get here. Like that was
okay.
Unless he was able to Misty Step, he wasn't getting out of this one. So
yeah, that's fair. All right, great. Well, the one that can move because of my earlier decision walks up and is going to slash at you twice.
Cool.
What's your AC? Presumably it's not 11.
It's 14. So
okay. The first one misses. And the second one hits.
We see this moment of Corvus like giving out this like almost relieved like huff of near laughter, and then nearly
you just
going
get
down.
Slashed through your clothes.
Yeah.
All right, Morvathra.
Angle's kind of weird. Are these guys body blocking the guy at the back?
No, you could step forward twice to like have perfect line of sight, or you can just. You don't have to do that even. You can just kind of see through them for.
So like if I fired a projectile, they would have cover kind of because of these guys.
No, because I would say that if they were standing in front of him, yes, but because they're standing in front of you, you can just fire it around them without moving. Like they're not balls.
Okay.
He has currently no benefit of cover that you're aware of. Who knows? Secret cover?
Secret cover.
It was going through my head too, but I just didn't sing it.
Okay, so 60 feet. Sure. Morvathra is gonna huck an ice knife at the guy playing.
Remember that you are blessed.
I don't know if it will have any effect, but it's kind of feeling like I kind of should just go for weird stuff at where we're at.
Also, I think because of the bless, they should have added that death saving throw counts. So sorry, but Nisakana would have added something. Carry on.
Can I aim the ice knife at the creature's instrument?
Sure.
Oh.
Are you aiming it at the instrument to damage specifically the instrument with the knife, or like?
Specifically, I want to hit the like, based on the things that it's been doing. Well, no. I guess more author did see that it lowered it to cast spells.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then actually not that. Then it's gonna aim for its head.
Sure.
Why not?
How could you? Just a little guy playing music. You interrupted his show. These were VIPs in his show.
Terrible roll. That bless though, but I don't think I've. Would a 14 even hit?
Yes.
Well, then maybe. But a 13 probably wouldn't.
13 doesn't, but he will still have to make a dex save for the 2d6. Strong move. Could you please make me a dexterity saving throw of your own?
Okay. I rolled the damage, so I assume that's for me.
Yep. Oh yeah, he takes it.
Solid 15.
So you take half.
Less. Oh, okay. Never
Oh
Yeah.
no, absolutely, that's not enough. Yeah, that you're right, Charlie. Roll less. It's like, oh yeah, no, this guy's got a DC that I should note.
18.
That is enough. So you take half of the necrotic rebuke that strikes out at you. So just 7. Well, halved, so 3.
Okay.
But you have sufficiently angered this thing. It steps forward and then vanishes, and I need everyone to make me saving throws of the kind that I will tell you momentarily. Nope, it attacks. All right, so we're gonna go. Let's start with the people that are near death. Now let's end with you. Okay, Corvus. That's a hit. Bartleman. That's a hit.
Yeah. They have disadvantage on me.
It's the main guy.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Movathra, that's a hit. I'm not going to roll to hit the other two because you will take half, which will put you down. I'm going to privately roll this damage.
Was this happening on Bravathra's turn still?
No, sorry. Did you have a bonus action?
Okay. It might not affect anything. I was going to bonus action cast, because you said you were fine with us using leveled spells.
Yep.
Action, bonus action? Okay. Bravathra would cast Healing Spirit. That's bonus action.
Can you output it?
Yep. Probably won't help anything, but who knows?
Also, I just realized that this damage is high enough that I do need to roll to see. I do need dex saves from the other to hit things for you two. My brain. So this one is one. Okay, so that doesn't do anything until the start of the next someone's turn, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you or a creature can see. Okay.
Yeah, if they start their turn.
Frankie. The 16 hit.
No, it doesn't actually.
You take half. Nisakana. Does a 20 hit. I wish I could whisper a roll to one person just to see. So, Nisakana, you know if you full die. What's your max hit points?
What the heck?
Sorry, normally it's 38, but currently it is 43 with aid.
So this would have to do 48 damage to you.
Yes. It's so many D10s.
Uh, you all fall unconscious.
Does my
Yes.
reaction get to go off? Like, or is it like one of the things like as I'm getting hit, like this retributive curse, right? So.
Yeah, sure, you can do it. It also hit your badger.
Oh,
Oh.
charming.
Oh.
Didn't have
Yeah,
to.
yeah. Then I will like as Corvus is like toppling, he like just kind of makes a mad scramble at the air, curls his hands into a fist, and Witch's Grasp. Let me output it. How do I output it when it's hold on.
Healing spirit drops, obviously. It's concentration.
Well, I'm copy pasting it, but it's going to be a strength throw, and because it's attacked me, and I've never damaged it, it has disadvantage on that strength saving throw.
Okay. And what happens if/when this fails?
It's just, I mean, it's necrotic, so it's just necrotic damage.
It failed. Sorry, it rolled an 8.
All right, so it'll take it's briefly grappled, very briefly.
Sure.
It like strung up into the air like by like puppeteered for a moment. It takes 1d8 of necrotic damage, and then Corvus full collapses.
Right.
And if you hadn't hit my badger, that could have been held. Sucks.
You do not see this as the tree spirits bring their slashing sword down on, let's say, Nisakana. And you see nothing until Bartleman, your eyes open, looking at the ward, saying, if you're reading this, it's already too late. And you have no recollection of what just happened. And we're going to go on break.
What?
We'll be back in, let's say, 12 minutes. I have more to tell the players when we go on break.
thieves can't. Something with thieves can't. I don't know. What? Hmm.
Hello and welcome back to Into the Shadewoods. I was going to do a whole thing about trying to do the exact intro I did before again, but I can't remember it. I didn't want to make Charlie do
Another
a
recap.
recap the second time. So if I remember correctly, this is largely the order. Everybody make me a perception check. As you hear these words from Bartleman.
Does does this automatically apply the disadvantage?
No, it doesn't. You have to do it manually.
Oh shoot, that's right. Forgot about that.
Jack, I need to roll disadvantage if my first one was already a 1.
Are we aware, like, I've been recently exhausted. Am I aware of the feeling of exhaustion upon me? Is that what my perception check is for?
No. And yeah, you feel tired. But it could be because you just read this thing that said, if you're reading this, it's already too late. No, Mavathra, you don't need to roll it yet. Bartleman and Nizikana and Corvus, you all see like a little kind of figure in the woods peering out. They're not trying to hide from you, but you just read something concerning. And as Bartleman, I guess you like see them, they kind of step out with their hands up. They're like, huh, okay, you're the new people. I mean, yes, to you it's new because you just got here, right?
Already too late, apparently.
You're muted somewhere. Sorry. I'm Vale. She's like maybe 19, and she looks like she's been living in the woods her whole life. Says, okay. Do you all feel really bad?
Tired.
I'm old.
Do you all feel more bad than normal?
Maybe.
Let's see. Okay. All right.
I'm very tired.
Well, yes, tired. You're always more tired the day after. Okay. Did you go invisible still, Frankie?
Yeah. On loop.
Okay.
I think
Sure.
I was actually up with Bartleman, not
No,
Frankie.
it was Frankie because Frankie was helping with the thing.
Oh, that's right.
Because she like jumps back as you just go invisible in front of her.
Ignore that. What were you saying?
They do that.
You always feel worse the day after. And then she pauses and kind of looks at you and says, that a curse got put on the village, and I just keep waking up and everybody thinks it's the same, but it changes for me. Everyone can make me an intelligence saving throw with disadvantage. You're all great at these, I can only imagine. Bartleman, whatever you got was high enough.
Shift for disadvantage?
It's 13, I think.
I think it's control, actually. I hit shift. Oh, no, shift does work. Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
Devastating.
Did you get a
Yeah.
19 with... Why is disadvantage so good for you?
Wow. 31.
I had a 20.
I rolled 2 threes.
Both Corvus and Bartleman, there's like something that rings true about this. What she's saying, that like something there's like that deja vu feeling. Everybody else is just like, this person's crazy. But Bartleman and Corvus, you both feel like you've reacted to reading that before. And Bartleman, you remember. You can remember something from the day before, and it can either be the way in which the fire interacted with the tree guys, or it can be the everything you know about the musician figure. You can pick which two of those you know.
Fire.
Great. Corvus, you know the other one.
Cool.
But everything Corvus knows about the tree spirits and the figure, because you rolled one on the tree spirits. So you know they're plants, and you know the other thing, whatever you saw about it, or whatever you rolled about it. But she's like, okay, it's been a while since there's been new people. Okay, you don't want to die every day. If you die every day, you feel real bad, and then you can't get out of bed anyway. But that's bad. Every time you die, you feel worse. But some days, the days that new people come, they tend to try and kill everyone anyway.
When you say that I remember like what I remember about the tree spirit, does that mean what I remember what the tree spirit said as well?
No, you just remember when you see it, you'll remember that knowledge. And Bartleman, you, because you have a actual intelligence modifier, you do remember that you fought something that reacted the way that it did to plants, but not the exact.
I have a minimal
The other
intelligence
three
modifier.
think this is a crazy team.
This girl's crazy.
Have you been like? It's like you've been foraging a lot. No offense or anything, but there's some like real bad mushrooms you need to stay away from.
I don't have time to talk
It's
to the
not
people that
mushrooms.
don't believe me. If you believe me, come over here. And she just like walks slightly away so that she doesn't have to deal with the people that clearly don't. This doesn't seem like it's her first time.
Corvus takes a long step forward, like it's
Like
almost like really
slightly away.
When was the last time you said you were here? Like
couple years, maybe year.
You recognize this girl under the layer of grime and woodsmaniness as someone that used to. They don't really have a tavern. They use a great hall normally. She used to be like a drink girl. She'd just like serve the drinks from the kegs that they'd imported and stuff. But like nobody pays for things here. Like with gold, it's all you barter or you are part of the village and you get whatever you want. But that's what she used to do. And her hair is a lot shorter, and it looks like she cut it quite recently. And she is carrying a pack that is just filled to the brim with like herbs and things like that. But you do recognize her as a person from the village when you were here last.
Okay. I'm gonna say I seem to recollect something or other. It's vague, but I don't wholly disbelieve you, I suppose. Could you tell me more about how you think this happened? Curses, tricky business, especially something that alters the mind.
She shrugs and says, one day a minstrel came. He's like very tall, quite handsome, and she like somewhere under a layer of grime you see a slight blush to her cheeks as she says handsome and says, he played a song, and then everybody kind of went to sleep, and I guess I did as well, but when I woke up it was the same morning. I don't really know anything about magic. I just know that it's happening to me, and every time I try and explain it, the people forget that I've explained it.
So what's this warning about? Is it about the curse? Because if it's the same day, how does that work?
That warning's, I think, it wasn't here the first day. because I was coming back to the village from the previous night. But it was, I think they put it there to make people walk in, because it ends over there, and she points behind you, and Nisakana, you can, even not believing her, where she points to is in line with that black stone, and she says, "Don't go past that. It feels like you are being burnt by the hottest fire." And then you die. And then you wake
So
up.
can't leave.
No, but if one of you that doesn't believe me wants to try it, that normally happens. Normally people try on the first time.
I'm okay. Plus,
Well, but you believe.
we're supposed to be investigating curses, and we're heading that way, anyways.
Wait, that rock is behind us, right? Was that the okay?
Yeah. No, but I've never seen anybody make it through. Oh, and I think, hang on, she's pretty smart, and she has been here for long enough. She's like, and the time moves outside here because you are new, and it's like she's gone through, that thing where the logic of something and you're trying to like explain it to yourself, and you keep going in circles, and you're like, the fact that you come in and you weren't here yesterday, which was today. Well, you were, but we all died. So you weren't here 2 days ago, which means that time is moving because new people are coming in.
Yes, perhaps.
But time doesn't move in here. But and she like puts her finger up, because this is something that she does know about. She goes, but the trees and the plants grow.
They grow, but the seasons do not change. What
No, just the
season
plants
was
grow
it?
here.
What season was it when you first died?
I don't really know what you mean by season, but it was this one. It's what it was now.
Yeah, and so
But
How much of the trees grow?
Like a natural amount.
Sure.
So
How long do
I
you
used
think
to
you've been here? In this.
Oh, and she thinks about it for a bit. She's like, well, I harvested the mushrooms, and now there's 3 times the mushrooms, and they grow once every how many moons? And because nobody uses date systems, she
Yeah.
has to actually do like intrinsic maths, and she takes maybe 30 seconds, and she's like, I think it has been somewhere around 130 days.
I see.
It's a passive insight from Avathra enough to like this person fully believes everything that they're saying.
I'll make you roll it because you're exhausted.
Sure.
Yeah, everybody gets to like, you have woken up as if you were level 4 before this. Yeah, she believes it.
Okay.
But you've also had many times where your orc tribe mates have told you something that they fully believed that was nonsensical.
Seeing that she at least fully believes what she's talking about, will have Mavathra kind of in her head be like, "Oh, okay, I'll at least entertain this," and we'll turn around while everyone's talking, and in a similarity to before, is going to kind of rub their throat and start pounding their chest, and is going to puke up a crow.
Mavathra.
It's fine. My grand does something similar. It's anyway. And then is going to point, even though she doesn't need to, if the crow is still around, unless something weird happens.
Yep.
And it's going to telepathically tell it to fly as far as it can in that direction and point towards the direction where she said not to go.
It does that. She throws up. at seeing that happen.
She's like, "Wah, that's disgusting."
Yeah, like just is like, oh, that's so disgusting what I just saw. I literally was ripped apart by tree folk yesterday, but this is the worst thing that's happened to me in 2 days. And yeah, you watch as your bird just flies straight. Who has Andrew, do you have find familiar? You don't, but you don't have a familiar.
I've just never cast one.
Okay. Do you think, as the wizard, that familiars feel things?
Yeah, they feel pain because otherwise, like, you
Great.
couldn't feel pain through them.
The screech of this crow as you fire it directly into what is essentially an invisible lightsaber is horrific. It is like if you tried to push a crow through a grater, in that it happens quickly, but in a really granular fashion.
How quickly does it happen?
At the speed that a crow flies. But like if you were catching it with a high-speed camera, every single slice of this is burnt away. But it can't stop because of the nature of the direction you gave it, which was just fly as fast as you can that way. Right? Not as fast as you can, but like just fly that way. It doesn't realize that it's dead before like its brain is burnt away by this thing.
Gets Resident Evil'd.
Okay,
You could maybe stop it with your magic, but by the time you did, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
It would be a mercy to not.
Yeah. Our author has a bit of a horrified expression and looks actually very deeply sad and troubled that just happened. But then we'll turn back around towards the person. We'll put the feather back out of their mouth. But
Corvus has wordlessly handed like some of the chew that he usually uses that taste antiseptic to the
Veil, who
the
probably has announced
Veil.
that her name is Veil.
Yeah, and says, chew it. It'll clear the taste from your mouth at the
It
least.
doesn't. Your passive insight is enough to know that she's considering if she just kills herself, if she will feel better tomorrow. Like, is this a deal breaker for the rest of her day? It has gone through her mind. Because she's got like her hand strumming the like hilt of her dagger.
Yeah, Corvus like puts that like as
But
he's
she
going
quite
to hand
quickly,
that,
like,
he puts it towards the hand that's on her dagger, like as a try to occupy her hand with something else.
Sure, make a herbalist check for what you're giving her. Just your like aniseed thing.
Yeah, like the aniseed thing of.
So you don't need to make a check but it doesn't have any actual impact, right?
No, it's just something to chew to distract his mouth, but he also knows it has like a sharp taste that kind of pulls you out in moments like that, which is why he.
She looks at it, like looks at the bundle, and you see her analyze the herbs, and then she pops it in her mouth, and then like she grimaces because it's not a flavor that she likes. She goes, I'm pretty sure this doesn't do anything, but thank you. Okay, so you should try not to die. That's important. There's no way out that I have found, but I'm not smart. Like it seems you are. And she like gestures at Bartleman. You're the traveler. You come here sometimes. You don't look
Yes.
different, but I look different.
Well, you get to be my age. You don't change very much from day to day.
Do you think if I never get out of here, I'll get to your age and look like I'm my age? I will. That's bad. I don't like that.
Sort of rapid aging. Is that what you mean? I don't think so. Presumably, if the trees are growing, then you still are as well. Just your perception of events has been altered.
Because the trees aren't dying every day.
If it truly is a time loop, the magic's involved would. I haven't the faintest idea of us having any chance of escaping if that's the case.
She nods. He goes, "Okay, well, I told you the important thing. There was an adventurer that came through here once who died, I think, like a week in a row, 6 days, and then just
Full died.
and she kind of looks in a direction and says, he came through over there. And
Make
she
a
shakes her head
perception.
in a way that she looks in a direction far enough away, but you can make an insight check
Sure.
with disadvantage. Welcome to the world of Corvus. Be exhausted all the time.
Yep.
You don't understand what she's implying.
Have these visitors ever told you why they're doing what they're doing?
She shakes her head and says, "Not normally. The minstrel is not normally around anymore. He sometimes comes through as if it's the same night that he came through, but I see him once every 30 days, 25 days, something like that. And the big things just kind of walk around. They don't bother people, except for presumably they killed us all, so that we couldn't. I don't know why they do it. They do it every time. Feels like they enjoy it. They normally take something from you when you die, but like you get it back, but they have it now too.
Something?
She shrugs. I don't have anything important enough to take that that when I die it matters, or I could tell that they've taken it. That the one time the minstrel was here when I died, and he was using a sword which he'd never done before. And maybe he took that from someone that he killed. I don't know. I'm not really going to be good at answering your questions unless they're like about the plant growth or like herbs and things. You can ask the other villagers, but they all think that you're crazy. I think there's more to what's. Some of them should be smart enough, but I've never been able to convince them.
What time do they die? And like as he's asking this, Corvus is like looking at the sky, like what you can see of it in this forest, looking at the way the color of the light, trying to figure out what time it is right now.
She doesn't understand your question, and it is the time that it was yesterday when you came through the now crow-soaked force field.
But to confirm, we don't remember that like we've seen everyone dead. We just have a vague sense of unease.
Well, she just told you that everybody dies the first time that somebody comes here. But yeah, you hadn't seen everybody dead. Yeah. But time-wise, it is roughly the time you think it was 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
And she doesn't really understand your question. But there's places to sleep in the town. Most days are fine. Like,
Sorry, you said the best place to sleep is in the town?
there are places to sleep in the town. Most of the other areas are the woods.
The so-called adventurer who came previously. What did they try?
The only day that I saw what happened, they walked up to one of the big guys and tried to hit it with a club. I don't think saying they were an adventurer is accurate. I think
They had a
they were an
sword.
idiot.
Okay.
They certainly had a sword. They didn't seem to use one.
See.
He carried a sword.
I think Frankie at this juncture still invisible.
Sure.
does finally speak here, and he goes, "Okay, so time loops outside of my area of expertise. Minstrels less so. Has anyone just tried shutting him up?"
She kind of looks around to see where to look and says,
Oh.
who would try that? He has a bunch of giant tree people and can do magic."
Do the other
That's-
villagers see the tree people?
They seem to not be bothered by them, but they're also
Hmm.
very rarely doing anything bad to them.
Only once
And the
they've
days that they
slept.
do, everybody will feel bad today, but they'll just assume that yesterday they drank too much. That happens sometimes here.
But you remember what happens, but they don't?
Yes, that is the
Did
crux of my dilemma. And you won't tomorrow
did the
when I have to come here and
minstrel
remind you again.
did the minstrel say in that first night, perhaps, or some other night, why?
He doesn't really speak normal. The first night he only sung. He only sung songs, and they were all like songs that at least someone in the crowd was familiar with. But he doesn't speak very much.
You remember everything. Did you sleep here outside of the town after that first day?
I always wake up in the same place, but I have slept in many different places.
Does anyone else spend as much time out here away from the minstrel as you do?
The hunters?
But they're just the same as the rest of the villagers.
Yes.
Corvus is kind of like frowning, and he's going to say, like, it's mostly to Bartleman, but he's not trying to hide it from her, and says, it's like that low charisma moment where he says, "Well, then, what's different about her? Is she special, or is she part of its game?"
Perhaps they are simply lucky, or perhaps. Let me make an Arcana check.
Sure, you can make an Arcana check. Everybody else that isn't Bartleman and Corvus make me an insight check.
16.
Disadvantage.
Oh, you're right. Better.
16. Movathra, you certainly see like a look of really significant and deep hurt cross over her face at Corvus suggesting that she might be part of a game when she's like clearly risked stuff to come and tell you. Like, Bartleman, it is unlikely for it to just be luck, but you don't really know what a 19 to 20-year-old herbalist might be getting up to in terms of imbibing combinations of mild plant-based things.
Right. Can Martha go up to Vale?
Yes.
We'll approach in like as much of a, hey, just kind of getting kind of close to talk manner, because we're new people and stuff.
Sure.
And we'll first, I'm sorry about earlier if that made you. That wasn't an if. It really did make you sick. I'm sorry. There's not really a non-gross way for me to do that. Also, I feel really bad, because the crow had feeling. Anyway, that's completely aside from the point. Thank you for trying to talk to us about stuff because we would probably just go into the town and like die. We might, I'm not super smart or anything, but you still risked a lot, so that's good and stuff. I'm bad at this, but thank you.
She ducks her head like as you thank her, which is probably something she hasn't heard for literally half a year. And she says, I mean, if it makes you feel better, tomorrow that crow won't have existed yet. To you and the magic that makes the crow, presumably, you don't have crows inside you, right? You're not like
No,
an
no.
orc Avery.
No, that's not my thing. I turn into
Okay,
animals.
her eyes widen as she like kind of forgets the support she was trying to give you, but then finds it again and says, "Well, yeah. So if it's the magic that you do tomorrow when you wake up here, that won't have happened. So that magic won't have happened, and therefore the crow will never have been hurt."
Is that true though? Because again, I'm still trying to figure this out, but it seems there's a persistence to things. It's merely our perception of them that is altered.
Vale looks at Bartleman like, I thought you of all people would understand that I'm just trying to make this person who's awkward and sad feel better. Like, but she said, I don't know. I literally I know no magic at all, except for like some herbalism. I don't even know the hedge magic. They tried to teach me, and it was boring.
Yes, well, we tried to.
Kristen, if you're talking, you're muted somewhere.
I have not started talking yet.
I think they're sandwiching at the
Oh,
moment.
your mouth is moving.
No. I am waiting. I am waiting.
All right, Kristen, you go.
Yeah.
More, Chris, you go. 'Cause I want to see this
the
burgeoning friendship.
The last thing is that okay. Well, if that is the case, that's I don't want to say good because like this whole thing isn't good, but I'd be glad that didn't happen. But it'd be nice if the days went on. If we're back here tomorrow because we just like straight up died or something, you could. Oh, if you look at me and say more is less, you don't have to do the finger gun thing, or finger point thing. But if you do that, I'll believe you immediately.
Okay, she scrunches up her nose at the sentence that you've said, but kind of nods. She doesn't know your name is Moore, and still doesn't like it.
My name is Moore Fothra, Maeve daughter.
Oh.
By the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I'll say that.
Cool. Step.
She pulls out a journal and writes it down. As if that journal persists tomorrow.
Yeah, I was gonna. Okay, that's. Do I just already know that that's true? Like it won't persist, or is that something I need to ask about? Yeah. So Corvus will say, you said things go away, or that it takes things. And I feel tired, but not as though. Like he's gonna like check through his like component pouch and like index that and try to see if there's like a difference, like showing that he's been in a fight. Like,
not.
Can we just write messages to ourselves? Is that what we can do to convince ourselves? Why haven't the villagers done that?
No. I just, if I learn something important, I write it down and then I read it like every hour or so to try and remember it if it's important. And this one feels like it will cut through a lot of this stuff that's happening right now. And maybe you won't think that I'm helping the people that have trapped me in this space and killed my friends over and over again.
Corvus blinks at her. Oh, it's not that I thought that you would have done that willingly. It's more that something that could have done this to us could a puppet or set somebody up for it. It's
she's blinking at you
like bait
in that way that someone blinks at you, like they are respectful because you seem to be an adult to them who is a child that hasn't got a profession, but not in a way that they are listening. Yes, Kristen.
Corvus, you feel at some point a hand on your shoulder.
Corvus flinches, as he has done every time you have touched him.
Dear friend, perhaps we leave our new acquaintance here to figure out what she's been figuring out herself, and we um, go about our own investigations.
Parliament had previously, like maybe a minute beforehand, already started to ritually detect magic.
Yeah. I was going to ask if it was ritually. She kind of says, as Frankie, you say whatever she's doing, she's like, I'm making the baker teach me baking. There's nobody here that's actually got interesting skills. I'm just learning how to cook. I know how to butcher a rabbit. I kind of got over that one.
Frankie, at this point, uninvisibles himself, because this seems like it's going to take a while. Uninvisibles or drops invisibility. Pulls out a quarter, and even though this is fully like a
Is there a quarter?
teenager, almost like a gold piece or a silver piece,
Gold?
a copper piece, copper piece.
Better.
And is going to do like a street magician disappearing trick with the copper piece.
I mean, I guess make a performance check, but this is like she doesn't know anything about magic, but she's not dumb, and she's at 19. So
No, but this is going somewhere, I promise.
I believe you. And also, I just remembered what Frankie looks like, so it is actually very much more likely to be successful.
Nice.
Yeah, she's like, she affects not being impressed, but is impressed.
He then tosses her that copper piece, pulls out another one, and goes, "If you're learning new skills, this is how you do that trick." And we'll work her through during that 10-minute period. A nifty little
Sure, yeah.
sleight of hand bit of magic.
Yeah, she will start to learn sleight of hand. You die enough times, she'll get a proficiency. Bartleman,
Great.
it's chronomancy.
Okay.
Which is unusual.
Yeah.
It's something you're aware of because you're old, but like it's pretty unusual.
This is pretty powerful magic.
Oh yeah,
Of
and
a
like
strange type.
you don't really get like spell levels, right? From detect magic, it's just a skill.
No.
This, I think you know, just from what it's doing, is like a 10th level spell.
Yeah.
It's more likely cast as a bunch of like 9th level spells over a long period of time.
Mm-hmm. Almost like the Hallow spell, frequently over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's more likely they set up a boundary. You also can't, presuming that Nisakana at some point mentions is the rock, that you can't get to that because it's outside the thing. So you can't even go look at that. But you suspect that there's a bunch of them like ringing this area, and they were cast over a long period of time. Or by a lot of very powerful wizards.
How far outside of the barrier is this thing?
Like 10 feet.
Can I throw a rock at it?
Yes.
What happens to the rock?
It
rates?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't feel pain.
Right.
Rock.
I just wanted to see if it was like organic.
No, it's anything going through it. Yeah.
Okay, well that does work.
So is this barrier visible when something happens to it, or is it?
No.
Always...
It's only visible to Bartleman now because of detect magic.
Got it.
So when we see the rock, we just see the rock just hits and melts.
Yes, it's exactly the same as what happened to the crow, except the crow was screeching.
Okay. So whatever made this is pretty powerful. It's still here. That would be bad for us. Can I maybe make with an Arcana check or something. I want to try to reason out, like, how could I end the spell? Like, killing the
Sure.
caster? Does it seem like, is it permanent? Are we just, like, kind of screwed?
You can make an Arcana check, yes.
Yeah. 18.
You think that there certainly must be a way to either pass through this or end the spell. You don't think, with the knowledge that you have now, which is what Vale has told you, a literal layperson, and the little bit you remember, you don't think you have enough to do that. But you're intelligent enough to know that, knowing that Vale retains things, you can use Vale to pass future Bartleman messages. Like, if you really wanted to do that. To get out today, you don't have any idea. Killing the things that cast it, or the things that are left behind by whoever cast it. Because I think with an 18, you don't think that the thing that you fought cast it. Like, you felt its magic. It's not that. It's stronger than you, but it's not that strong. But if it was left here as, like, the avatar of what created this. Also, with an 18, this could just be something the woods could do. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And if the woods did that, and then the creature is here as, like, the avatar of the woods, killing it would end it.
Barman is thinking for a bit if other people have questions or things they want to do.
I have something I want to try, but I don't know if Frankie. I'm trying to decide if Frankie would have the
Do you want to
forethought to
message
do
it to me,
this.
and I will give you my input?
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually think it'll work, but just as like,
I really hope that you thought of something that just absolutely 100% does work, and I can tell you that Frankie would not think of it. Or that you thought of something that really does work, and Frankie would think of it. That's equally fun. But Nisakana, are you happy largely looking around for the 10, 12, 15 minutes this has all been happening?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just kind of keeping a watch.
Great.
This is not her realm of knowledge of any kind.
I think you could certainly try that, and I would consider it to be a problem-solving Frankie idea.
okay, so I think as all of this information is passing through, like between like our different characters, and we're talking about like the time loop. Frankie is once again like returning back to this idea of our caster, our big bad, as far as is being reported by Vale, is a minstrel. I am also a minstrel. I cast magic with sound. So Frankie is going to point at one of the stones, snap and cast silence on it to see if that like disrupts sort of the circle, or if he can even like cast it on the stone to begin with.
You target something through the barrier, and you feel that your concentration doesn't even hold the spell. You lose the spell slot, but like it doesn't.
Bad.
Magic equally disintegrates. You just go, well, Bartleman, you actually see the magic flash against the barrier as well.
Right. So let's recap for a moment. Take stock. There seems to be some sort of time loop wherein each day repeats as the next. If you die the day before, then you wake up the next day, same day, feeling
Oh, and if you
drained.
go to sleep, you still wake up.
Right.
And always in the same place, regardless of whether you died or if you've slept.
But interestingly, I look up. We came in like in the afternoon, and it is morning now, right?
No, it's the same time you came in.
So we've lost hours, and we will always have a shortened day.
She nods.
We've lost.
Yeah, I was waiting here for ages. Oh, they know when you come in. Something tells them when you come in because they always kill everybody when somebody new passes through the barrier.
But before they can do anything about it, like
That's
we
why
pass
it
through the
was.
barrier and they die then.
Well, yeah, they move past, and nobody's expecting to suddenly be massacred,
Yeah.
except for me. And sometimes I'm not there, but I don't know when.
If we had hurried,
There are
we
days I
could
don't
have
go to town at all.
seen the carnage, but we slowed down at a stone. We spent all that time investigating it. So
She nods.
we start the day in the middle. Things can pass in the barrier, but can't go out. Even magic. Are there just 4 of the giant plant creatures?
I've only ever seen 4.
Okay. There's 4 giant plant creatures that could brutalize us, presumably. Plus a minstrel of some sort.
And again, I don't remember anything about the minstrel until I encounter it. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't quite understand the. Like, I know that it exists.
What did Corvus learn about the minstrel the previous day? Because Bartleman learned a lot about it. What does Corvus know about it?
Corvus knows that like a strength saving throw was something that he could get over on it. Corvus knows that
No, you died as that happened.
Okay.
You
Corvus
don't know that.
Corvus knows that like
it cared about its loot.
It cared about its loot, and that it did damage to its own loot whenever he like circumvented its plan to kill somebody. Like it hated that healing magic, especially, it seemed to be.
Yeah, I will say that when she mentions the minstrel, you can remember like those details of like a minstrel in your memory that you haven't actually met before, except for this one. So yeah, you can know that from the fact that a minstrel's been mentioned.
And its dialogue, is that something that I can remember now? But no. Okay.
No, you don't remember what it said.
Okay.
Right.
Just like Bartleman doesn't remember how the tree spirits fight. Bartleman just remembers that they hate fire, but it makes them better.
Right.
Does he remember that
she told me
he killed us all at once?
And then anything. No.
Okay. All right. Just checking through.
So,
okay.
Yeah. You do remember because you had a spellcast that you cursed. Yes, you do know that it just killed all of you at the end.
All right. So yeah, like in response to
I thought you meant Bartleman. Does Bartleman know that?
Yeah. So in response to your, like, as you start explaining what we know about the trees, the 4 tree spirits, Corvus says that the minstrel was able to do with all in a moment.
Okay. So the minstrel is the most
powerful and particular about his loot, but not in control of himself enough that he wouldn't harm it if he was irritated. He didn't seem to. He seemed frustrated. Healing, or having his. I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Frankie, you see Vale ping the copper into like a tree nearby by like failing to do the sleight of hand. And then she says, "Oh, and the big tree statues, they always do the same thing, like every day as well.
Except for when somebody new comes in.
Well, if the minstrel's around, presumably, like he's telling them what to do. I think.
And
I assume he knows that he's stuck like this.
Do the trees people ever like fan away from the minstrel guy, or are they always kind of like within?
No, yeah, there's and she kind of checks the sky and she's like, "There's one in the garden in town now, and there's normally at least one in the guild hall. Well, it's not really the guild hall, the big hall. And the others kind of range around. They don't really do anything most days, unless somebody tries to hit them with a club, and then they do a lot, and it's harrowing.
Right.
Would it be possible for us to like? I mean, I guess track then kind of hunt them when they're separated.
She shrugs and says, "Probably. I mean, you could walk up to them, and like, as long as you're not doing something aggressive, they don't seem to care about anybody being there, or they never have."
Well, that's
She
one
looks
could
over
use a
the fire.
drink, and it sounds like there's a town close by where that could happen.
Yeah, but we didn't get an ale shipment for a while, so there's no ale.
Ah, well, what's the bloody point?
Walks into the barrier.
She's
Permadeath.
Um,
All right. We also know that there are stones, or a stone, at the very least, outside that seems like it's maybe connected.
And he takes something from us, but like I didn't have I'm aware that I have more spell slots, essentially, right? Like in that part of my brain that knows how to prepare a thing and to practice a spell. I'm aware
Yeah.
that I
Yeah, I think we were told that we felt like we came in as level 4.
Yeah. You feel like you leveled up this morning, which is to say yesterday morning, but for you this morning.
All right. Can I do some kind of check to know that that's like? Do I know that happened?
You would like to do a further intelligence check against the situation you're in, on top of the intelligence save you did earlier.
No, I was just trying to figure out what that intelligence save told me. Like, if it was about the zone around, I was just trying to figure out where the limits of my knowledge are.
You don't know that mechanically
Okay.
you suddenly have command over extra spells, because learning is not a level up system.
Got it.
Don't look at me like that, Kristen. I think that's a valid way to say that.
Yeah.
She kind of looks at you and goes, well, I'm gonna go get drunk. And she just starts to walk off.
I love this like silent Kristen.
Stalking up the road.
Yeah, she wanders into the woods. You can follow her, Frankie, if you like.
No. No, I think just for funsies and flavor, though, I think as this whole interaction is going on, Frankie, as perhaps people have noticed, when we start to stand still for too long, he does just start to get crankier and crankier, and he is going to take this as just like the cue to I am going to now start moving forward without asking anyone else what they want to do.
Sure. No, Frankie dropped it. Are you heading to the town? Is that what it sounds like you're doing?
Yes.
Great. You arrive going the left side or right side?
Left.
Great. You arrive at the town, and I've probably left some people in trees. And yes, there are people moving around. You hear the sound of conversation. You smell freshly baked bread on the air. Well, not that freshly, because it's like kind of early afternoon, mid-afternoon now. But you can move yourselves around town as you like. There's more stuff in these houses. It's an arduous process to put objects into every single house.
And once again, I think at the disadvantage of not being able to see.
Do you have a particular place you would like to look at? Because I'll tell you if it exists here.
I mean, just based on the type of person Frankie is, like his first stop in any town is going to be a tavern or like tavern adjacent kind of location.
Sure, that's a giant building at
Yes.
the back. So Frankie, you're gonna head that way. I'll move you up because that's fine. Everybody else, do you have somewhere you would like to go? A particular thing that you'd like to see?
I think Nitikana's just staying in the middle, trying just to keep an eye on everybody.
More
Sure.
would like to go and see if she can spot like the wood people.
Yeah, I'm gonna study one of the wood people as well.
Sure. That is extremely easy to do. I will just move you to where you could be kind of looking at them. Corvus, do you have something different, or are you happy to just go look at the wood people?
Corvus is kind of like following along, like this, kind of trying to keep people in his eyesight. As we move forward, I think, yeah, he'll if somebody's left alone, I think he'll follow them, but otherwise he'll look at the wood people.
Well, Nisakana's alone.
Yeah. Oh god.
That's all right.
Yeah, Nisakana is not
Nisakana
the
prefers
one
that.
for
Yeah.
Nisakana is not the one for which Corvus
Well,
makes
Frankie's
sense.
alone.
Yeah. Corvus will kind of like look after the other two, decide that Bartleman's got that, and he will follow Frankie. I can't see Frankie.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll move you up. Frankie's at the very top.
Yeah.
All right, Frankie, you're still invisible. Can you uninvisible yourself?
Oh, I didn't. I did drop invisibility.
You verbally said it. I don't think you did it on your token. If you had done it on your token.
Word.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I have
and I
done it
don't
on my
remember
token.
how to do it. So, all right. Can I get Frankie and Movathra to roll me a d20 just to see which one we're going to resolve first? And I'll do Nisakana in the middle. Because essentially you're just going to get talked at by whoever comes to this well.
Great.
Yeah, as Frankie is walking forward, Corvus is reminding him, do remember that we oughtn't die today again. Like in a very low undertone. Like,
Oh, there are worse
Frankie,
things
roll
that
me
have
a wisdom
happened.
saving throw.
Is this a disadvantage or is it just ability checks for exhaustion?
Just ability checks.
for one level of exhaustion.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. You don't have to do anything with this information, but this is one of the few times that you can kill Corvus for free. Nisakana, that also occurs to you.
Mm-hmm.
That if you really needed to get it off your chest,
Mm-hmm.
you could do it for free. He won't remember. Movathra and Bartleman, you see, Vale called it a garden. It seems to be like a vaguely cultivated patch of land with a fire pit in the middle, which is unusual. And you can kind of smell. Bartleman, you know that the house to the north is the butcher, and Movathra, you can kind of smell the meat curing smells. And you see a tree spirit. He's just standing there, looking at the fire. He looks angry because he's staring at fire. But otherwise, can you both make me perception or nature checks? Or investigation, if you want to get a bit closer.
I do nature, can it be with wisdom?
Not this time.
Then perception. Ooh, actually, Valthor is going to cast Owl's Wisdom on themselves. Because that seems like a novel idea that's never happened before.
Mhm.
They're going to have big owl eyes.
Sure, when you cast a spell, it turns to look at you.
Big owl eyes blink at it.
Bartleman, what roll are you making before something else happens?
Probably the Arcana. I want to see what the magic driving these creatures is, and if it's connected at all to the barrier and the overall spell.
Nat 1.
Great.
A fly,
Make your Arcana roll.
A fly buzzes into my big owl eye.
21.
And remind me what you just said about what you were rolling Arcana for.
I want to understand the nature of these creatures better as magical constructs, and also figure out if they're connected to the barrier spell, like if they are a nexus for the magic. I guess for pylon,
Sure.
perhaps.
You're focusing on it almost entirely in like a magical sense.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about it. Like I
you're not,
understand
like,
it's a
looking at it
plant-ish creature.
beyond that,
I'm
but,
not thinking about it in that.
You think that potentially at some point this was an actual tree, and it has been brought to life and given this form over an enormously long period of time. Ching, 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 ching. You just rolled a natural 1, right?
Yep.
So you don't notice as it steps through the fire and brings its sword down on you twice. Well, you notice, but the first one at least will have advantage. It happens so quickly because it sets itself on fire just by the way it happens to walk. Not even intentional. That hit? A 14? All right. I'm going to give it to advantage on both because the first one missed. What if the second one missed as well?
That does it.
Yeah, it just like slams its branch down on you for 18 points of damage. And then I need you two and Nisakana to roll initiative.
And me? Oh, I guess I can visually see it.
You don't have to.
Oh, no, I will. I'm seeing my friend get attacked.
It sounded like this was what you planned. Did you just call Movathra your friend?
I was
I'll
literally.
take away Elven points from you.
No, I
That's
don't
fine.
actually mean
I
that.
wouldn't actually punish you for that either because of the nature of.
Chris is my friend, so Movathra is my friend in Maddie's head.
Sure.
Sorry,
I
do we
did
roll
forget to make
advantage or disadvantage for initiative? I always forget.
Accidentally clicked. Sorry.
I think it's disadvantage because it's an ability.
Right? It's a skill check, isn't it? Technically.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I still rolled pretty good.
Pretty good. I forgot to roll for him because I am dumb. That's with advantage because it's on fire. Do I get the? Is there a way to do reroll initiative? Bartleman, would you like to roll initiative? You don't have to.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm willing to let you not roll it.
I didn't actually pick the meta magic thing, so I'm taking those now.
Sure. Nisakana, make me a perception check as this thing like is looming over Movathra. Or it can be nature. Yeah. You see a thing that just hit Movathra and is likely to do it again in 1 second.
Yep.
Frankie, I'm going to assume you were going into that hall, and that's happened at the same time.
Sorry, that should be with disadvantage.
God, I forgot you have -2. This is going well.
Very well.
The good thing is Morvatha probably won't remember to not cast magic.
Sorry, it's not gonna let me do it again, so I'll just different.
Sure, it's the same, whatever.
Yeah, same order.
You're in the same spot. The tree spirit, as quickly as it brought down its slashing branch the first time, brings it down again.
Does it have 2 attacks or no? Because it's not enraged. Or is it?
It
enraged?
literally didn't think about it, but walked through the fire.
Great. Cool. Cool.
It did take 2 damage, so I will remember to take that off.
Do you take any more for still being on fire?
No,
Okay.
them being on fire doesn't seem to bother. Well, okay. The first one is definitely against Morvatha, and then I do have to check if you're alive because the second one will be against Bartleman.
Maybe.
Morvatha, are you down?
I am indeed.
Great. And then Bartleman, it just turns to you and crits you in the face.
I mean, roll. I could survive. It's possible. If you roll badly.
Which I will.
I aim up, actually. I have 1 HP.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I think that's fine.
It's like,
you have so
wow.
much. That level up.
Did you bump your con or something, or what'd you take to get?
I just have high
It-
con.
Oh, you just have high con.
Yeah.
I forgot we are a high con party.
Yeah.
Oh,
it still has me
concentrating on something. Who knows? It's annoying to get rid of.
You can just click on your token and remove it.
Nizakana. You basically looked over from the first time Morvatha got hit, and then watched this thing just decimate your youngest and eldest party member. It's a real equal generational beating that just happened.
Oh my god. I think I'd be like, I just have pulled out a weapon because I'm like, oh shit, I see this guy advancing towards my party members. And then I just see how fast it slashes through both of them, and I go,
I was just
die
looking
today,
at
we
it.
wake up tomorrow.
Actually, that's right. It doesn't hit Bartleman because you didn't do anything. So you don't take the 29 damage. Because it kind of just starts walking back.
Oh.
I'm gonna do some.
I'm gonna get revived and it's gonna turn right back around to smack me back into the
Well, the only
No,
magical healing I have is Wither and Bloom. I'm not willing to use a potion.
Is
See,
lay
I
on
don't have a
hands
potion
considered
anyways.
magical?
It's a great question.
Yes.
Would Nisakana know that?
That lay on hands is magic? Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But you don't know why Morvatha just got hit.
Yeah. I think I'll just rush over there and pick up Morvatha and take her away from that tree spirit.
And that feels very intelligent. Which is to say, could you make me intelligence check?
Yeah.
I sometimes have to punish the thing.
No.
No, you really feel like she needs to be saved now. You don't know how many times she got hit while she was unconscious. She could be hanging on to life by a thread.
Pop a lay on hands, 1 point.
Great.
The generous 1 point.
Bartleman, it's your turn. You already see the tree spirit is turning back around.
Okay, that was my first question. Excellent.
It's
All
not
right.
smart enough to be like, oh, let me wait.
It's already on fire, right? Like that is just up.
Yes. And actually make me a perception check, because you would have had a second to look at it as it kind of went away. You saw a version of this time loop where you did get crit.
No.
You don't notice anything. If that had been nature instead, is it 10?
No, because I don't have nature. It would be 9.
Sure. Yeah, you don't notice anything in particular, but it is already on fire.
Do I remember?
It will be.
I guess maybe just obvious from it. I was going to ask if I remembered that it has good con saves.
You remember that it has middling con. You don't remember that its con saves were remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, they are for a human, but for like a monster, not really.
Right. Yeah, I'll do Rhymes Binding Ice rather than Scorching Ray.
Sure.
Because I think stopping it there would be slightly better. It seems to only have melee. Give me a con save, please.
Sure.
Nope. It still takes whatever that is.
That's pretty good.
8.
Mavathra, you are. Sorry, did you have a bonus action? Did you want to move?
Well, I'm gonna like kind of back up.
That makes sense.
Like the 8 AP wizard you are.
The fastest old man in the world.
Yeah. My 35 movement speed.
Wow, you can move more than I can.
I have a magic
Well,
item.
you're plate.
Oh. Okay.
Mothra from the ground. Now I guess blinking up with their 1 HP. Is going to use their action to wild shape.
Smart.
Sure. Oh, you need Crag Cat.
Yeah.
Which is why a 1 HP lay on hands is not that bad.
I don't think I ever implied it was bad.
I'm assuming wild shaping doesn't make me stand up.
The laying cat.
No.
I'm just a starfished crag cat in front of Nisakana that just rolls over and stands up.
That's about right.
And is then going to move up into its face. And then with my bonus action.
As you move up into its face, it will take a opportunity attack.
Okay.
It doesn't even seem to be doing it in with thought. The sword just lashes out.
Ouchie.
You take so small. 11 points of damage.
All right. Well, since that was the order I decided to do things in, which is totally fine, and how this would normally play out, we'll use bonus action for its eyes to constrict and begin to hiss, snarl at this thing as I rage.
Sure. Oh, that is fine. People are fucking running away.
Okay, so people are reacting. That was going to be my question. I was waiting for.
But meanwhile, let's see what's happening up in this guild hall. I just have to. Frankie, presumably you are going in to look for booze.
Yes, and I do want to maybe take, if I may, take the scene back to Corvus saying what he was saying about dying.
Sure.
If you can remind me what that was, Charlie.
Do remember, let's not die again today.
In the spirit of the failed wisdom saving throw, where Frankie does, for the briefest moment, consider killing Corvus once again. Like he is reaching for, I think, like the door to the front hall as you say that, and with his back to you, he stops, and you watch him like once, like you've started like a couple of times seen him like go into the tense, like into a very very tense stance, and then like release back into like the relaxed, almost like facade of himself that he goes into. Um, and for like a beat between that tensing and going back into that relaxed stance, uh, the tensing goes away, and in a lot of ways, a lot of like the appearance of muscle filling out all of like the definition of his shirt sleeves and everything goes away as well. um and he takes a deep breath to say something, releases it, opens the door, turns around and grins at you. um Sure, no dying today. Um, Drinks are on me, given the fact that, according to Val, I should have the same amount of coin tomorrow as I do right this second. And we'll let you walk in front of him.
Corvus will look at that room before he is like Corvus. Even
Corvus,
as you're talking,
I-
Corvus is looking past you to study that room.
I want you to make an inside check first.
Okay.
Great. Frankie didn't just try and kill you, but you felt deep in your heart that it was close, and you're going to find it extremely difficult for the foreseeable future to sleep in the same area as Frankie.
Got it.
Because you're already super skittish around Frankie.
Yeah.
So it just like, you have that moment where you see what Frankie's imagining doing to you, and though it doesn't happen, you're like, you get a shiver. Yeah, there's a tree kind of standing looking out the window. The window's kind of too small for it to look out.
But it's like standing there. I can see the tree. Do I see the minstrel as I peek in? Like
No, sorry, I accidentally locked the door. No, the minstrel does not seem to be there. This room has like a bunch of tables in it. Like,
yeah.
And benches and stuff.
In the few seconds this has taken, has the like freak out of the battle that has happening in the south started?
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Corvus is like eases then. He says, I don't. But thank you for the spirit in which it's given. Kind of takes a wide berth step around to get into this door, and again pauses, looking around this this guild hall. Is there just the creature inside?
Yeah, and a bunch of tables and stuff that I didn't put in this room.
Okay,
like
so there it's a guild hall.
It's not a guild hall. It's a large hall that the community gathers to eat together, and like, if they had ale, which they don't, they would make merry here.
And all of these things are windows or doors?
The only door is the one that you are near. You should be able to see through the windows.
Yeah, the rest of that stuff's the windows. Okay. Corvus is just like, in that, like, you know when you're like learning something and you're repeating things over and over to memorize them? Corvus is just like counting the windows, mouthing to himself how many there are, trying to turn it into a rhyme for himself, and he's speaking out loud in a murmur. And Frankie, you hear that he's actually just reflexively murmuring in Elvish.
You care to share with the class?
Pardon? Oh. What?
No, it's just you're talking to yourself.
Oh, sorry. I don't. I'm not. I'm talking to my familiar. It's just that He's always in my robe, so there's, I guess, 4 windows that he can see.
Yep.
12 tables. And he just like lists through what he can see. Like, and he's again like switch,
Make
like kind of like
a perception check for me.
cool. I didn't hold on. I don't know why it did it as normal, but I held it. Yes.
You don't notice the thing that Frankie does notice.
And you're counting off. I think you've missed at least one interesting thing. And he is going to wander over to that corner. Thank you.
No worries.
Mhm.
It's not a locked chest, but it is a chest that seems to have what people might consider to be valuable in it. But it's covered in like a thing of fabric, primarily.
Corvus, Frankie clocks that, wanders back over to Corvus. How good are you at dancing? Would you like to try?
Corvus just stares at Frankie for the longest time and is just blinking. And I think like his instinct that this is like the kind of like it sends him back to being a child and like somebody like asking him a question for which there is a right answer and him not having any idea of what that right answer is or when he was supposed to learn it. And he's just zero actual response, just very long blinking slowly through these eyes that are just too far apart, too pale a green, too large.
Well, I'm going to need you to try your best. And then I'm also going to like do a little prestidigitation to make like some sounds happen to draw attention away from that corner in particular. In the hopes that
sure.
noise happening around Corvus is just going to be weird enough for people to pay attention to it.
There's literally just the tree statue in here, and it is not paying attention to you because it just walked over and closed the door that you left open.
Oh, great.
It is now kind of like hovering over near the door.
Is Corvus's passive insight enough for him to connect this time to the last time that Frankie used him as a distraction to try to steal something from someone?
Not when you have
exhaustion.
Exhaustion.
Can I make that disadvantage check?
Yes. Yes, you can remember a thing that happened not that long ago.
Cool. Corvus like weighs this for a long moment. There is only like this is the only like being in here. The people aren't here.
Yeah.
I want on record. I would if it was just that weird being. If I, Kristen, had known that it wasn't other people, I actually wouldn't have done that whole business. I would have just gone straight into the chest.
I will say that I never mentioned people, and I told you several times what was in the room. But yeah, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. There's certainly no people in this room.
Oh, in that case, yeah, sorry. Because I am not looking at the map, I just sort of auto-implanted a couple of different bar patrons.
Sure. Sorry, I was just starting the next round of combat in advance. Yeah, you can look in the chest. There's literally nobody here in this exact room, and certainly not somebody that can see through their window into this place through a window.
Yes. So, okay. Sorry, Corvus.
So Corvus is current.
Rewinding.
Okay. Corvus is just like still in this place of like, this is probably not a good idea, but standing here. Got it.
Yeah, no prestidigitation necessary. Yeah, I just Frankie
Did you
just huh?
Did you ask me
No,
if I
I
could
did
dance?
not ask you to dance.
Okay.
The chest has some like goblets in it that seem to be made out of not even like silver, but like another metal, like maybe they're iron. They're quite nice. At the very bottom of it, you see a like box that is wine bottle shaped and does have writing in Gnomish, which I think you do speak, I imagine, because of Lucy.
Rules is written. I don't, but if you will allow me that.
Well, what languages do you speak?
I have Common, Infernal, and then Thieves Can't for reasons.
Okay, so you willfully chose to not have it, so no, you can't speak Gnomish.
Okay.
You made the choice at some point to take these languages.
I mean, Common and Infernal come with being
you didn't
tiefling.
get one from your background.
Shouldn't you
Okay,
have
sure, you
4
can speak Gnomish.
languages then? Or is it only? No, it is only 3, isn't it?
Yeah, you can speak.
Yeah, well,
Gnomish.
and then Thieves Can't is because I multi-classed about it.
It's a box. It's a box that holds a bottle of Gnomish wine that is dated a long time ago, like long before that, like this island was settled.
Frankie reaches in, grabs it with a laugh, and goes, "Jackpot, life's short.
Mhm.
We'll wake up tomorrow," and pops the cork.
When you go to
and just
open the box, it's empty.
He throws the box and then kicks the chest.
Great. As you do that, Nizikana, you take 19 points of damage outside.
Okay.
It stepped around the wild cat that started attacking it, seemingly not that invested in fighting that, and just hit you, Nizikana. I mean, what's a wild cat going to do to a tree, right? And then it is your turn.
Great. I'm going to well, I guess I'm just gonna stab it.
I doubt it. Can't imagine you'll hit it. Yeah, that hits. Oh, actually, only just. I forget that you have +3. But yes, that does hit.
No, I have proficiency back.
Yeah, but you only have a +3 strength. So like,
Oh, yeah.
I always think you're going to be rolling higher.
Not right now. 6 slashing damage. And then I will do bonus action. Oops. Good lord, where the heck is it? That was not what I wanted to do.
Yeah, it probably will take a second.
Okay, we'll just do another roll, and then I'll just do a d4.
Sure. This one could not possibly hit.
That one won't hit. That will be low. It's 11.
All right. Bartleman, make me a perception check, please. Or nature, whichever you prefer. Great. Nisakona, actually, you can make a perception check as well. Okay.
We are rolling so many ones today, even like not even including the disadvantage. Just.
But Bartleman, it is your turn.
Okay. It's on fire, so scorching ray.
Yeah. Also, I realized that this kind of you would have learned nothing from even passing that perception check, so there's no reason for me to tell you.
I'm just gonna do these all at once.
I believe in you. That's a miss. I believe in you a second time, though. That's a hit. I don't believe in this one. Yeah, that's a miss.
A 16.
Yep.
Well, that's annoying. Takes 9
I
fire.
mean, it's good damage, though. All right, make
Yeah,
me
would've been
a
nice.
perception or nature check. Ugh, it's an awkward amount to.
I mean,
Okay. 9. So that and then this. Movathra.
should have just magic this.
Maybe.
Sure, because why not? I'm just gonna smack it.
I doubt it. I've never seen this thing get hit. It simply never happened.
You'll probably not see it again.
That misses.
Correct. All right, that's it.
It's simply the tankiest creature in the world.
Only one
Uh,
effect.
Does that apply the rage effect? Does that?
The
It's
rage effect
already
is
had
doing
the
more
rage
damage.
effect.
Okay, just I was yeah.
That's
I was,
why I keep
yeah,
asking if it's still on fire. Because if it's
No.
Yeah, it's
if it had been
No,
out of
sorry.
fire,
No,
I might have.
for
Uh,
Movathra, because Movathra is raging.
I see what you mean.
But
Sorry.
rage is
I
damage
don't have it.
bonus.
Yeah, it's just damage bonus, and also Morleffer doesn't have it anymore because it didn't get
Oh,
it.
okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I forgot about that for a second.
Okay. Why does the Movathra not have rage anymore?
The turn that Morleffer activated it, she was unable to attack, and then she was
it didn't
not
hit you.
attacked by the time it got back to her turn.
Yeah, but you attacked on this turn, right? So.
No, that is correct rules as written of rage, which
Yeah.
I liked the idea that the first time Movathra used barbarian rage, it was wrong. That's
Yep.
very funny. But I won't. After this time, I don't care about that on your first turn.
Okay.
But like, she just couldn't hold on to the rage.
Mhm.
All right. It will swing down, still not caring about what it sees as essentially a natural beast.
Is any of this sound filtering into the guild hall?
Nope, it's very well insulated.
Got it.
Damn it. That's going to hit. And so will that. Wow, what are they doing upstairs? Good God.
Being
18.
bludgeoned to death by tree spirits.
So you live through the first one, because this time it would go into no, but
For some reason, I can't apply that damage, but I'll just do it this way.
It's probably because I did it in a stupid order where I rolled twice.
Oh.
Nizakana, you go down. And then it walks over towards Bartleman. Bartleman, could you please make me a nature or perception check?
Can I attack it with a reaction as it walks
We'll
away?
see.
Yes, you can.
10.
A 10?
Yeah.
It has so much more damage than you did to it just today, like in this fight. You've seen every blow it took. It has blows that look like
it came in damaged.
It came in damaged. And because you chose to see the tree spirits as your memory, you remember they were all pristine the day before. So it occurs to your very intelligent brain that they do not heal.
At least not quickly.
Well, yeah, they probably will heal over time at maybe roughly a plant growth kind of speed.
It took 9 slashing.
Where's the attack roll?
19. I rolled a d20.
He rolled a d20. It was 14 plus.
Yes, it's that 14 plus stuff.
Oh. Sure, yes. Make me a survival check. And Bartleman, as you remember that, and it comes bearing down upon you, that's where we're going to end this session.
Oh,
Aw.
great. It's a 10.
Yeah, it resists slashing damage.
Okay.
But we will end the
Devastating.
session there
Okay.
with that piece of information finally getting through to one of you.
God.
After 3 rolls, 4 rolls.
Too
Just from
many rolls.
Bartleman.
I like the idea that it happened as Nisekana went down. Bartleman's like, oh, a curious fact. But yes, we'll be back next week for the thrilling climax of Bartleman's life.
That'll be fine.
This time.
I'm up next.
Yeah.
Listen, it's all good. It's all good here.
Yeah, everything's going to be good and fine.
As always, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for playing. We'll see you next time.